Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, you sound good. Yeah. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yep. There you go. 1 2, Steve. 1 2. Yep.
All right. I feel like I'm loud.
Did you put yourself on channel 1?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just feel like I hear myself loud.
Okay.
Can you hear me fine there? Because
Yeah.
I'm better there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh. You don't sound overmodulated. No.
No.
No. Okay. Good evening and welcome to Warren East High School. It's our first track and field meet that we're live streaming this season. Mike Cleff and Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network, courtesy of Prep Spin. And it is a gorgeous, gorgeous night for track and field at the City County Invitational. And Steve and I will delve into this. This is a sport that is very near and dear to both of our hearts, but more modern day with Steve. And again, it's our first track and field meet of the season, so we're going to be kind of improvising on how we cover this and everything, but we're thrilled to bring it to you. It's a tremendous sport. We will have highlights and show you several of the running meets, events I should say, distance, middle distance, sprints, relays, along with field events. Steve, glad that you had the headsets on tonight. We had a very special ceremony that concluded a few minutes ago. The 5 schools, Warren East, Warren Central, South Warren, Greenwood, and Bowling Green, all had their seniors honored before the meet. And one of those seniors on Greenwood is Sam Sanders, whose father is my broadcast partner. And congratulations to Steve and to Sam's lovely mother, Laura. So, Steve, what's this sport mean to you? You have been around it for a long time, haven't you?
I have. It means a lot of time. Not as much lately. Sam's been hurt all season. He actually won't run tonight either. He's out for the year.
Yep.
He had a broken toe earlier in the season, and it just he had to stay off it long enough to where at this point he couldn't get in condition. And the way track and field works for their what you would consider postseason, you have to log so many meets in order to qualify. The same way with cross country, you have to compete in a certain number of events to qualify to be in the region and state, and he wouldn't have any chance of doing that. So he's going to watch from the sidelines and cheer his teammates on. And we got 4 teams here. Or 5 teams here. We have the 4 county schools plus Bowling Green, so all 5 high schools from Warren County, traditional high schools from inside the county and city are here tonight. So they do a lot of meets like this throughout the spring. Typically a school like Greenwood, the majority of their meets will be all-comer meets, which means that schools, and it's typically these 5 teams, but schools can enter as many students as they'd like in each event, whereas an invitational would limit the number of competitors to 2 individuals in the individual events and 2 teams in team events. But these will be pretty fast moving for track meets. If anybody's ever been around track meets, you can invest a good 4 hours in them. But I've also been at some that have been extremely large that you can invest 8 hours in. But this one certainly won't do that. But we will be experimenting a little bit with how to get you the most bang for your buck tonight. We'll definitely get the finish line. Probably going to be a little challenging to get the beginning of the 100 sprint and 110 and 100 hurdles, girls and boys. That'll be a little challenge. We'll pick it up about a third of the way through and finish it out. Distance, we'll try to get all the kids. You and I both believe in giving everybody recognition, so we won't just cover the leader of the whole race. We'll try to get everybody in the picture at some point. Where we got a great shot of the pole vault across the way there. That's what people are seeing right now. Those kids are getting some warm-up and some runs on the pole vault. Here at Warren East, your long jump and triple jump are right here on the front edge of the track, so we'll be able to get those in. And just a great night here Ken Skate Track. Ken is actually still coaching a little bit of track and field here at Warren East, but he's a legend out here too. A lot of legends at Warren East. We've gotten the honor of meeting a lot of them. Ken is no different. He's a great track and field coach and a great guy. Warren County's always been lucky to call him one of their employees and one of their coaches and one of their own. And he just does a great job. Great coaches all the way around here, though. It's something that doesn't get a lot of publicity in the newspaper or television, just because of the size of audience is a little bit different. If we put every girls and boys baseball and softball team out here, we'd probably have a little bit bigger audience. But these kids still work hard. Most of these teams start about January, the Monday we come back from Christmas break. They start conditioning and they go all the way. The regionals will be the final week of May, usually right around that Memorial Day, and then the state track and field meets right at the 1st of June in Lexington. So these guys and girls are going from all of January, all of February, all of March, all of April, and all of May. That's a long season. And so they deserve that airtime also. So we're glad to be here, glad to have everybody joining us, and we'll do our best. I'll give you what I got. I know most of these events we can work through them. The first event up tonight will be the girls 4x8. They will start actually at the start-finish line, and there'll be teams of four girls, and each girl will run 2 laps before they hand the baton off to the next runner. And so you've got a total of 8 laps. For those of you that don't know, a high school track is 400 meters around. And so when you're talking about, we'll have events like the 400 meters where each runner will make 1 lap. We'll have the 200 meters where each runner will run half a lap. And we'll have 100 meters where they run a fourth of a lap. It starts to flow together once you kind of get a hang of it, but the first event will be the girls 4x800, and the second event will be the boys 4x800. And those will run, we're just running a little bit late right now, but they should be making a final call for the girls 4x8. What they do is they make a first call, second call, and final call for those kids to get gathered up and checked in. And we see some of the girls maybe making their way down to the start-finish line right now, and we'll get them off and going.
Steve, this is a beautiful facility here at Warren East High School, and I just was wondering, before Sam was injured and your oldest son Will, who competed in track and field, how did they like competing at this track here at Warren East?
It's good. It's one of the only tracks around that has an extension off the finish line. So kids are not continuing on down into the curve and all, which when you got multiple lap races and the kids are starting in blocks, for example, a 4x4 where each kid runs 1 lap, but they start in the blocks, you've got to have somebody out running, moving those blocks, and if you don't, kids are going to be forced to jump over them, which is not good.
Again, as Steve mentioned, we are just a few minutes away from starting the girls 4x800 meter relay. Steve, one thing, and I will apologize in advance, unlike our other sports, the track and field athletes do not have jersey numbers. They have jerseys, and there might be several student athletes we might not recognize. Right. But when we do, we'll try to say it. And if
sometimes the best solution to that is just recognize the runner and the school that they're from. Right. And I might happen to know 1 or 2, but I also don't want to come across the airwaves is only recognizing students from one school. I just happen to know, because my son runs for Greenwood, I happen to know some of those. But sometimes the best solution is just to say, congratulations to the runner from Greenwood. The other side of that is when you're running multi-heat races, I'm sure we'll see more than one heat of 100 dashes, many heats of the 200 dash. The winner of that heat may not necessarily be the winner of that race. Mm-hmm. So if you're running 3 heats of the 100 and I win the first heat, that doesn't mean I won the 100. That means I won that heat.
Yeah.
You win the second heat, but your time may be faster than mine. That puts you in first place. So, when if we were to recognize individuals in those multi-heat races, we still wouldn't know at that point who the actual winner of the race was.
Steve, one thing that was really neat during the senior recognition, which started about 30 minutes before we came on with the live stream, several familiar names from several schools. I think of Warren Central has an outstanding jumper, Malik Jefferson, who,
Yes.
of course, was
Part
a
of their
key contributor on their state championship basketball team. Lofton Howard of Greenwood.
Connor Doyle of Warren East.
Connor Doyle of Warren East. I'm drawing a blank with someone with South Warren.
Reagan Lawson from
Thank
Warren
you.
East.
Or Reagan Lawson's with Warren East. Yeah, absolutely. From the girls' basketball team. I'm drawing a blank right now with anyone from South Warren, but I'll think of it in a moment when we hear.
Tavian Barber from Warren East.
Warren East, yes. I believe he's a shot putter.
He is and plays football.
And plays football, yep. So that's the neat thing. And, and I'll go back, Steve, to this is another thing that I really like about Lofton Howard of Greenwood, for example. Okay, so he has signed a letter of intent to play football at WKU. But definitely his best sport is football. But we saw in basketball, solid basketball player, played a different role. And, a lot of people would just skip going out for track and field. And here's Lofton Howard, and you know how he is with his work ethic. He doesn't just put in a half day's effort on the practice facility for track and field. I think it's admirable that he's still out here competing.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, he for all intensive purposes, his high school career is coming to an end, and his focus, I'm sure, and Coach Helton at Western, their focus is to try to get those kids transitioned into their conditioning programs, and let's be real, while it's April, towards the end of April, listen, everybody's finished their spring game right now. They're looking at Labor Day right now, and they're wishing they had more weeks because, by the time they get those kids on campus this summer, late this summer, and they're not going to have a whole lot of time with them. So, hats off to all these kids. There were several kids that are going to play sports on at the collegiate level, and hats off to them for sticking with it all the way through to the end because. We're about 5 weeks away from graduation right now, so all those kids that were recognized are going to be graduating and moving on, and it's great to see them come together. A lot of these kids have run against each other for 6, 7, 8 years, and a lot of them also double dip and they run against each other in cross country. So one thing as I look around this great facility here, one thing that makes it nice is the infield is turf, so you don't have to run into potholes anywhere in the grass that are hidden, or sprinkler heads that are out there. You're always trying to keep kids out of tripping over that. So still waiting on the girls to come down. Still haven't seen them yet. They'll all make their way down as a big group, and the starter and the official from KHSAA we'll give them their final instructions and line them up and get them off and running.
All right, we still are just a couple of moments away from the start of this meet. Mike Cleff, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. We're going to step away for a couple of minutes for a break before we get this underway. You are watching the City County Invitational Track and Field Meet on the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives. It's saving lifetimes.
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom!
What's wrong with these? I think we're gonna need a bigger suitcase.
This is a Mingy moment. Have some mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or
Perfect.
get up.
Looks good. Good, we're gonna take it up.
Who's not a runner now? I am proof of the power of advanced medicine.
Welcome back to Warren East High School. Mike Clough and Steve Sanders. We are still waiting for this meet to get underway, the City County Invitational. They honored the seniors from all 5 high schools. Prior
Here
to
we
the
go,
meet.
Mike. Here's
Yep.
the ladies coming down.
Okay, now, Steve, before this
And
meet,
yeah.
go ahead, Steve. I didn't mean to
And the
interrupt you. Go
gentlemen,
ahead.
and now they're, so it looks, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to wager
Okay,
and guess that those are probably middle school teams because we will run middle school tonight.
That's what I was going to bring up. Hey, you know what? Good for
Some
them.
of, some of those look a little bit smaller.
Yep.
So we'll see how. A lot of times, depending on in a local meet, depending on how many teams are entered, they'll also run girls and boys in some events together. I've finished been at the finish line a lot of meets, and that's great because it moves that meet along a lot faster, but it makes it a little more challenging to sort out at the finish line because, for lack of a better way to say it, if you're talking about your true varsity athletes, a lot of times your boys, potentially your best boy team could lap even your best girl team just because of the nature of the boy-girl athletes, and so that makes it a little bit tougher to finish. But looks like they may run them all together down there. Let's see if we can.
And I'm situated at the point, Steve. You've got the view to the finish line.
You tell me, Mike. Can you see that? Can you see them down there on the screen? Look on the screen.
Yep, I can see them.
Good.
Yep, I can see them, Steve.
Good.
Steve, you talked about your experience at a track meet. You volunteered for a number of these meets.
More than I can remember, Mike. More than I can remember.
What was the biggest thing that you learned about going through these track and field meets that you didn't know about before?
It takes a lot of organization. There's a lot of moving parts out there. You see. So when they start this one, they'll start staggered because of the turns involved. You can't start all across the same line because then the runners on the outside would be running a longer distance than the runners on the inside. For people that aren't maybe questioning why that runner all the way out there in lane 7 gets a head start, well, he's going to run a little bit farther than the runner in lane 1. So these runners will run it's been a year or so, but if I'm not mistaken, these runners will run both laps in the same lane.
Okay.
And then the second runner will run maybe one lap in their lane, and then of the second lap, you'll see over there on the far side, you'll see a set of little cones, and that's where they'll be able to cut in. But we'll know that for sure. Nope, looks like I'm wrong. They pass the cones, and they can cut in. So everybody's going to move on over to lane 1 and lane 2. And we're going to lose them right here in turn 4, Mike, but we'll pick them up coming down the stretch here a little bit in their first lap.
Steve, are you a little bit surprised, and I realize it'll get spread out here, are you a little bit surprised the hurdles, they only cleared out 3 lanes? I thought they might. Okay.
No, because I don't know any way to say it that's nice. If you've got a runner at this point that's running out in lane 7, they're running a lot longer distance than anybody else, and they're not going to win. So at this point, everybody's running in lane 1 or 2. Everybody's basically running in lane 1 unless they're passing somebody. Then they may go to lane 2. But no, that's a pretty normal setup, is to clear everything out except for lane 1 and 2.
That looks like a young man from Warren East out in the lead, Steve.
It is. It is.
And I believe Warren Central's in second, and South
It
Warren
could be
is about to take second.
Your vision may be better than mine.
Okay.
Definitely South Warren. Sometimes teams, especially when you're running middle school, you can have 2 different uniforms for the same team. South traditionally runs a lot of athletes, and so they don't have that many uniforms that are all alike, so they will end up using similar uniforms but not the same. We'll catch it for sure when we get them coming down right here.
Question for you, Steve. There have been different philosophies on your relay teams. Some coaches will put your fastest runner leading off and your second fastest anchoring, or they'll put their second fastest leading off and their fastest anchoring.
Warney's definitely in front there.
Yep.
And I believe it's both Greenwood and South Warren right there. Greenwood in lane 1, South Warren in lane 2, coming to this first handoff.
Yep.
I'm just going to leave it on the handoff. Everybody will be able to see that. Yeah, I've seen both ways. Typically, you put one of your faster runners out front and you want to establish a lead. And then you put 2 runners in the middle that you hope will hold the lead.
Yep.
And then you put a runner there at the end that you think if you were to get past can catch up. I've seen some runners, some anchor legs, that 4th runner, seen some kids make up a quarter of a track. The 200 is a little bit different race. It's called mid-distance. It's not a sprint. It's not a mile or 2 mile long distance run. I always thought about it, the first lap is who's fast and the second lap is who's got endurance.
Yep. Because
a lot of kids can run that first 400 meters, but boy, when you get to the end of that second 400, that second lap, you're gassed.
Well, and then, Steve, you've seen this. In these relays, it's you have to hold on to the baton, you have to exchange it in the proper zone, and someone's like, well, they never drop the baton in the 4x800 meter relay. Wrong.
Yeah, they drop it all the time.
Right,
yeah,
because the one that's handing it off, Steve, is usually very tired. And
I've seen them drop the baton in a regional final, cost a team that should go to the state. It'll cost them a trip to the state. They work on it all the time.
Yep.
It's just something that what happens in a lot of cases is, in the early parts of the season, you're running with different runners each time, trying to find your lineup, and when you don't have that experience with those other runners, then it's a challenge sometimes.
One of the things you can see right behind the track there, and this is one thing I like about this facility, is you've got the long and the triple jumpers that'll be competing there. They're practicing right now, and it's a great vantage point.
It is. This is a great facility because you have everything but the shot put and the discus right here in view. And so we got a Greenwood runner coming there to cross the start-finish line. So the district, Warren County uses a camera system. Stacy Garrett, one of the assistant coaches for Greenwood, manages a camera system for Warren County schools, and so they actually have electronic timer, an electronic picture that helps them place the winner of each race. And I've done that many years, and it does make life a lot easier, and it kind of takes the human reflex out of it, because before that you'd have what's called a plunger, and every team in this race would have an adult on the sideline with a little button. Looked like you were going to launch the nuclear weapons, but instead it clicked. You would have to click it when they crossed the start-finish line, and if you didn't have good reflexes, I mean, you could really cost a team a quarter or a half second, or, it was a lot of pressure to do that. So the camera system's great. It started by the sound. The starter down there is actually wearing a little sound microphone, and when her gun goes off, it actually automatically triggers the clock to start. And so we don't even have to manually do that. So it's a big step forward for Warren County to be able to use that.
Steve, the meets that you've attended in person, who are some names that seem to stand out? It could be any from our 4 county schools that come to mind, and it could be, during Sam's time in high school and during Will's time in high school, competitors, whether it's at Greenwood, Warren East, Warren Central, or South Warren. Well,
I've been away for a little while. My oldest, Will, he was a senior during the COVID years, and at that point, Greenwood had a really strong team.
Yeah.
And COVID really hammered it, but it probably worked out. He had pulled a hamstring in March. Of course, COVID came along about March the 14th, 15th, and, of course, that's early in the track season, so that just killed it right there. And
they canceled the season at that spring.
Yeah, they just stopped it.
Yeah.
They just stopped the season right there. Of course, we've got Cates Duncan running tonight for Greenwood. Cates is probably one of the faster distance runners that anybody in the stadium tonight is ever going to see. He's a record holder at Greenwood in a few different records. But the thing is, the records he's broken were held by the Eaton brothers. And anybody that knows anything about marathons and distance runners, and if they don't know that and they know South Warren, then their dad is Coach Eaton that coaches South Warren's distance and mid-distance runners. There's Greenwood runner coming up on the outside.
Nice closing. Yeah.
Hand off to his teammate. But the Eaton brothers have held the distance records, and I mean they had shattered the records and they held them for a long time. But Duncan is he's a workhorse. He is running all the time. He's goal oriented and you know he's broken some records that I really wasn't sure would get broken anytime. Of course, you know, these middle schoolers are also running for their school and their school records. If I'm not mistaken, Will Sanders and 3 other runners still hold a Drakes Creek middle school record in the 4x8. I don't think that record's ever been broken, but
that's got to be a source of pride for Will.
It is. Well, you know, he's in those college years, so he wouldn't want to talk about middle school probably if his life depended on it.
That's
but
right. He only talks to you when he needs money.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm kidding.
One day he'll look back on it and think, ooh, that's pretty cool. So here's that Greenwood runner that took the baton a minute ago. You can see he's made his first lap, and he started out strong, but he's got to kick in the endurance, and he's got to make that second lap. So Greenwood in first, Warren East in second. And then you have, for boys, you have South Warren coming in third there.
Mike Clef, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network, courtesy of Prep Spin. We're at the City County Track and Field Invitational featuring Warren East, the host school, Warren Central, South Warren, Greenwood, and Bowling Green. Not just the high schools, but the middle schools. And every school is by the same name as the high school, with the exception of Greenwood, as Steve just mentioned. The middle school in the Greenwood School District, the middle school is Drakes Creek.
And Moss Middle School.
Moss Middle School. Yep. I drew a blank. Sorry about that. Moss Middle School. Yep, absolutely. Yep. So you have Warren East Middle School, South Warren Middle School, and Bowling Green Junior High. Yep. Thank you for correcting me on that, Steve.
So it looks like we're going to, after this, run the girls 4x8. We'll run the girls only, it looks like. And then after that, we'll run the boys. Trying to get a handle on, also in front of us tonight is the long jump and triple jump. And what will happen is the girls will start on one and the boys will start on the other. And then when everybody's done, they will switch. And so that's how they get through the triple jump.
We'll run down real quick the options. You can watch our live stream. It's free, and you can go back and check out the archives. We started a few minutes late tonight. We are just in our first event. We've been on for a little over half an hour. You can check out the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network at prepspin.com or go.prepspin.com. We also have PrepSpin is on Facebook and Twitter, so you can go there to check it out. Also, you can go to Roku or Fire Stick TV and just look up Prep Spin on either one of those options. You can go to our school district's website, which is warrencountyschools.org, or you can go to our collaborator with us, WBKO. You can go to their website, wbko.com, click on the sports page, and then from there go to the Prep Spin link. So plenty of options. Again, it's free. We're in our third season of existence. Steve Sanders joined us in late October, and we've been thrilled. He's joined us and has done great work. And you've heard a lot of insights from Steve, as he mentioned. He and his wife Laura, both of their sons, have competed in track and field, and so he volunteered at a number of meets. And Steve offers some insight firsthand for what these meets are like. anyone hoping this meet will get done in an hour and 15 minutes, Steve? Not happening.
Yeah,
it's just not happening.
It's not going to work.
Nope.
3 hours and 15 minutes would be a better goal, but
Yep.
we'll just have to see. Sometime this late in the season, they should move right along, but when you include middle school in it, it's not that the middle schoolers aren't good and do a good job, but you just double the number of people in each event.
Steve, let me ask you a question about, we're going to carry 2 more track and field meets. We're going to be over at South Warren on Friday for the Sky Conference meet. Steve has a school event going on there, and I've left it up to Steve that if he's got enough energy left, he can join us in progress. So, but if the school event runs long and he's not able to make it, you'll just have to put up with me talking the whole night. And then on Friday, May 5th, I've covered this meet many times, and I've enjoyed it. It's the Raider Classic back here at Warren East. So one reason Greenwood is not hosting any track and field meets this year is their football field and track is being renovated, and so Greenwood's actually had to have their home meets at Warren Central. But, Steve, those 3, will be at South Warren. Track and field-wise, what do you think of those venues when you've been there, whether it's Warren Central or South Warren?
Everybody's got great facilities. Every one of them has little nuances that make them unique. Warren Central's is neat because it's kind of down in a bowl, and they have I judge everything by the finish line because that's usually where I'm operating the computer and the camera when I would work them. They all have, when we're at South Warren on Friday, we'll be on the visitor side up in the press box. Here we're in the home side on the press box. So, they each have their own. Everybody in Warren County's got a rubber track, which is great for the athletes. Everybody's probably, all the serious runners tonight are wearing metal spikes. If we were down the track, we'd hear them clicking. But if you don't have a metal track and you're running on an asphalt track, you have to wear rubber sole shoes. You can't wear spikes on asphalt. Obviously, spikes will not go into the asphalt, and it will hurt your feet. So that concluded the middle school 4x8. They did run the boys and girls together, and so now we've got the girls 4x8. We've got a team from Greenwood. We've got a team from South Warren in Lane 2, a team from Bowling Green in Lane 3, and a team from Warren East. Looks like they've lined up in Lane 5. Sometimes what happens, it would be Warren Central that would have been in Lane 4, but they may have scratched their team. It looks like Warren East is going to move over to Lane 4. Typically, this is not the case here, but if we were at an invitational meet and runners had seed times, which means that everybody's best time for the year determines what lane you run in. Obviously, if you have the highest seed time, the fastest time, you would be running in lane 4. The next highest seed time would be in lane 5. Then the next highest, lane 3, 6, 2, 7, 1, and 8. And so typically you find your fastest runners running in the middle lanes in those invitationals that use seed times. There's some of the boys coming down to get ready for their 4x8, which will come up next.
Steve, one thing about the weather tonight, you talk to any track and field competitor or field event competitor, the one thing they hope for is the wind to be minimal. Yeah. That's exactly what's happening. They can deal with a little bit of rain. They can deal with a little cooler temperatures, but that wind they don't like. And tonight's conditions, besides it being warm and sunny, that wind, and especially out here at Warren East where that wind can be
looks like they may actually run the boys and girls together here. Either that or the boys are just out there to get the instructions, so she has to say them once. But the way they're lining up, it looks like they may run the boys and girls here all together. Which
why do you think they're doing that, Steve?
It's, to be honest, it's purely a time factor.
Okay.
So you figure each 800-meter runner is going to run about 2 to 2.5 minutes to make their 2 laps. So 4 runners, you're looking at about a 10-minute race. So if you run them all together, you're saving yourself 10 minutes of the meet by doing this. So it sounds a little selfish on the adults' part to run them all together, but when you're looking at a potential 5 or 6 hour meet, you're trying to get down to a 3 or 4 hour meet. it helps. I always felt bad for the girls here because we got some great girls running in Warren County, and I don't know if Kate Duncan is running for Greenwood in this particular meet. I'm trying to look. He is.
Okay.
He may be the leadoff. We'll know real quick.
Okay.
If he is, but I would. You'll know real quick if he leads.
Okay.
He's a running machine.
Okay.
I couldn't run like that if you were chasing after me. I probably couldn't run that fast. I just can't get a good view down there. Your window's a little foggy there, Mike. You might have to climb out there and clean it.
The girls' long jump is in progress. It's
yes. What are we doing? Yeah. So we'll be doing the girls' long jump and the boys' triple jump. Let's get this 800 started. Then we'll get some pictures of the long and triple jump and get those folks included. We don't want it to just be a track meet. We want it to be a field meet too. So I don't believe Kate's is running in this one. Looks like four boys from Greenwood, not including him.
Yep.
He's a pretty fast starter, so he probably would be out there, but we'll know real quick. We'll let this group come around to the start-finish line, and then we'll catch some action from the jumps.
We, right when the 4x800 started, we saw a triple jump competitor in the background take a leap, or 3 leaps, actually.
Yeah, so the triple jump is a very, very interesting event, and I think in that picture, Mike, can you see all those white lines on the track?
You can.
So the way the triple jump works for our listeners out there, so when a jumper, either male or female, comes up to jump, let's catch these. So no, that is not Kate's running in this one. So back to the triple jump. When a runner or jumper comes up, you'll see them place a cone. They will tell the adults working that meet. In this case, you see the lady in the blue and the gentleman in the yellow. Mm-hmm. They will tell them which mark they're going to start from, and you see that the next jumper is going to start at the back mark, and they put the cones there to mark that. So when they land in the pit, they will measure that distance from the front edge of that mark. Now that sounds like, well, gosh, you should want to start from the farthest mark up. It works very well. It depends on this runner's strides and the runner's jump, but that's how they do. Let's watch right here.
Is that Malik Jefferson?
It may be. All right, so you see his triple jump. The white flag means it was a good jump, so he didn't foul. And so you see a pole down there in the sand that marks the farthest back towards the pavement that he was. So that's why you see that was Malik Jefferson. That's why you see people fall forward. If you fall backwards, you're measured from the farthest point back in the sand that you land in. So if you put your hands behind you, that's where they're going to measure you. You want to fall forward.
There you go, fall forward.
That way your rear end or your feet or whatever hits that sand is as far back. Everything else is forward. So he's asking the jumper now which one he's going to jump from, and he's going to say the third. So they're going to move the cones. And so when he lands in the sand and they mark it with a steel post, they will measure from the front edge of that third jump, of the third bar. So here we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Steve, it looks like in the 4x8.
We'll come forward here.
Yep. Let me look here. In the lead.
Looks like Warren East in the lead. Bowling Green second.
And it looks like in the girls, it's Greenwood with the lead.
There's Greenwood in third for the boys.
Okay.
And that would put South Warren, if they had a boys team. I'm not sure. There may have only been 3 boys teams entered. Nope, there's a South Warren men's team running.
Yep. And I think here comes the leading girls competitor, and that's Greenwood. And it looks like South Warren is in second.
Yes, Greenwood in first for the ladies. And as soon as we get through this and show these runners, we'll pan over to the ladies at the long jump pit.
That's one of the things, Steve, that I really like about a track and field meet. There's multiple things that you can check out going on at the same time. As someone who's just a fan sitting in the stands, on the other side of, you got the pole vault going on. In the distance to the far right, which you don't see on camera, you've got the high jump.
So
I
for the
think that's
girls,
a nice feature.
the girls, you've got Greenwood, then you've got South Warren, Bowling Green, and Warren East. We'll pan over here to the ladies' long jump, and again, it's similar in that with the jump, you've got what's called the boards, which are, I call them the white stripes. Those are actually called boards.
Yeah.
And so you can put your foot on the board. Your toe just can't go past the front edge of the board. If it does, that's a foul, and that jump doesn't count. It counts against you in that it is one of your attempts, but it doesn't measure. You don't get disqualified or anything for that from the whole event. It just means that jump is scratched. You don't get to count that. Which is a shame because you might be 1 inch over the board and make a jump that's a foot longer than anything you've ever done, but that 1 inch cost you. So we'll watch the girls here. They don't have to identify anything because it's all measured from the same place.
Yeah.
And everybody takes off from the same place.
Steve, while we're on the campus of Warren East, I want to change sports real quickly. Very nice development over the weekend, and we see in the backdrop there's a baseball game going on at Warren East. The Raiders captured the Class 2A state championship over the weekend, so congratulations to head coach Wes Sanford and the Raiders baseball players. And speaking of,
if I'm not mistaken, that is Warren County's third state championship this school year.
That's right.
Warren Central won the soccer championship. Warren East, Warren Central won the boys basketball championship. Warren East won the 2A baseball, and that's a big deal. The baseball is another what I call an open tournament at the end where, it doesn't matter how big your school is. Everybody plays everybody else. But just like in basketball, some of the divisions have their own tournament early, and then, theoretically Warren East could qualify for the next state tournament, which is the more open, where everybody competes against everybody else, regardless of size. I'm going to come back over here to the start-finish line again.
That's fine, Steve.
Give us some 800 action. But still, that's a great thing. It's great for Warren County schools. It's great for those kids. We've seen them play. They're a great group of kids. Got to interact with a lot of their parents, great parents. So yeah, that was awesome to see. We knew they were going to compete in it, but we hadn't really followed it, to be honest, as much. But man, that's great. 3 state championships in 1 year is a tall order for any school district.
That's a great point, Steve, and very well said. Again, Steve mentioned Warren Central boys soccer, Warren Central boys basketball, and most recently Warren East baseball. And speaking of Raiders baseball, Steve, we got a good baseball game on Thursday. Our next live stream, Warren East at Greenwood. Going to be a good one. We'll bring it to you at 6 o'clock in the evening. And, Steve, getting back to track and field, and I thought this is a neat thing. You mentioned Stacy Garrett, the assistant coach for Greenwood Track and Field. The head coach is Dave Garrett at Greenwood. And Dave is also a school bus driver with Warren County Public Schools.
He is.
So he's a coworker. But I asked Dave, Dave, what's the working relationship and what's the camaraderie like between you and your coaching staff and the coaching staffs at the other 3 high schools in the district? And he said, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 10. And he mentioned how Warren Central's lending their facility for
that's great, because let's just be honest, that puts Warren Central in a little bit of a bind because you've got both teams that need to practice.
Right.
And Warren Central's been very accommodating. Coach Carver, great guy. Coach Barnett at South Warren, along with Coach Eaton, Coach Barnett. Does a great job coaching their sprinters. You've got Coach Skay here. Also with Coach Garrett at Greenwood is Cam Levis. A lot of people have seen he's been in the news a little bit lately. He works for Bowling Green Parks and Recreation is his day job, and he works heavily with their special populations.
He's a great guy.
Does Special Olympics. He's actually written a book.
Very smart.
Along those lines, his wife is actually a teacher. So she teaches first grade at Cumberland Trace Elementary here in Warren County. And, just it's amazing the interconnection, the web of everybody involved in these sports and how they know each other on and off the track and court and field. And and everything. But yeah, Coach Levis is a great guy. He did field events at Louisville Male in Louisville when he was in high school. And anybody that knows anything about sports in Louisville Male is, especially if you take those private schools out of it, Louisville Male is a powerhouse of sports in this area, in this state. And so we've got the boys teams have wound down the 4x8, and the girls looks like they're starting their last lap.
I'll be honest with you, Steve. I could not tell. It looked like Bowling Green crossed the finish line first, but I'm not sure.
It did. I believe Michael House was running their anchor leg, and he crossed the finish line first.
And it looks like Greenwood is, well, the gap is closed.
It could be interesting before it's all said and done.
The gap is closed, and I do think this is the last lap of the 4x8. Bless you there, Steve.
Thank you.
And I'll tell you what, I believe that's South Warren that's gaining ground.
I believe it is too. Just to look ahead, the next event up will be the girls 100-meter 100-meter hurdles.
Okay.
And the boys actually run a 110 hurdles.
Okay.
So the girls, when the boys come on, we'll add one more set of hurdles, and they'll have to get over one more set. Looks like Greenwood is going to pull it out with Bowling Green coming up second.
Okay.
And would be South Warren coming in third, and Warren East runner back on the back stretch will make her way around and for fourth place. Great job to all those runners. Listen, my hat goes off to anybody in these sports. And one of my favorite ones to watch is the 200. I mean, those ladies and gentlemen running that look like gazelles coming around that third turn and fourth turn, and I'm jealous that I don't have that ability to run. And
it's quite a sight when they make
that.
It is.
It's quite a sight. My oldest Will ran the 200 his senior year, and the 4x200, and I mean that's a special athlete because you're running twice the distance of a 100-meter sprint. You're running twice that distance, and you're running it less than twice as fast. I mean those runners are still fast.
We'll take a quick break before we get the 100-meter hurdles underway. Mike Clef, Steve Sanders. We're at the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. We'll take a quick timeout. You're watching the City County Track and Field Invitational on the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
It will.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months
you'll
down
have
the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or
Perfect.
get up.
Looks good. Good, we're going to take it up.
Who's not a runner now? I am proof of the power of advanced medicine.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives, it's saving lifetimes.
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom.
What's wrong with these? I think we're gonna need a bigger suitcase.
This is a Mingy moment.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
He lived in the same dorm floor when he was in college with Dominique Yates, who I worked with in the sports department. And Dominique just said he spoke highly. Dominique just said
Sam worked for him. He runs the camp for special needs adults and kids over the summer. Sam worked I did that camp all summer for him. He had Sam changing adult diapers, and I know that blows my mind.
What is it about Dave that just is it just open over his head? And this is all this is.
Dave's not as good as Dave thinks Dave is.
Yeah. Know those type of people.
You know,
Know those type of people.
I can produce a lot of state champions if I'm running in 1A in a fairly large county.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like Louisville and bigger.
Welcome back to Warren East High School, this beautiful facility.
Well, it looks like we're getting set for the girls' 100-meter hurdles. I think they're done now, but one thing you see, you'll always see at a track meet when they set those hurdles out. And, you know, when I first started watching it, I didn't know. You'll always see them tip those hurdles forward, and I thought, what in the world are they doing? All the hurdles and the legs that stick out have weights in them. So if a runner happens to hit the hurdle, the weights in it help the hurdle go ahead and tip over rather than wanting to stay upright, because if it wants to stay upright, then you have a whole lot better chance of hurting that runner because the hurdle doesn't give. So it actually have lead weights in them, and so when that hurdle starts to go over, those weights help it go on over to help keep the runner safe and hopefully keep them from planting on their face. We've got girls in the blocks doing their run outs. That's what you call it when they start practicing. They get down the blocks and they run out a few meters and come back. We've got the starter down there ready. I apologize, we won't be able to get the runners in the blocks. I'll pick them up and try to follow them on into the finish line, Mike, and you make a call on which team you think won. Of course, if it's close, it's always up to the camera, so please, parents, don't text your coaches and say, you know, Mike Clef said Greenwood won, and I thought it was South Warren. Listen, the camera will tell no tales, and it'll make the final call. But looks like our starter is beginning to get them in the blocks and lined up. The way this works, they all start in the 100-meter hurdles. If they happen to false start, that disqualifies them from that heat. So kids in high school are very careful. So there's no second chance. Gotcha. If you are called for a false start in high school, then you are disqualified, unfortunately, from that heat and the event. I've also seen that happen in the regional meet. A runner that has a good chance of making it to the state gets disqualified in that heat. And, you know, that's pretty much a done deal at that point. You see Coach Garrett in a maroon shirt walking in the distance right behind the long jump, walking back there with his maroon Greenwood Gator shirt on.
Steve, I'll tell you what, Steve, here's my high school track and field story. You talk about a false start. The 3,200-meter run, I went to state in the 1,600-meter run, and one of my teammates, they basically, I also competed in the 3,200-meter run, but you could not qualify for both events, which was unusual as the 100 hurdles is underway, and they're coming in. And
Warren East with two girls out front of this heat.
Yep. And the one, Steve, there in lane 6, I believe, looks like
she's going to pull it out in that heat. Just kind of want to let the viewers know something that we talked about earlier. There's another heat. Actually, looks like this is boys coming up. So when you run multiple heats in an event, like we probably will see in the 100 or the 200, the winner of that heat is not necessarily the winner of the 100-meter hurdles.
Right.
You have to take all the times of all the runners that ran in all the heats, and, of course, the fastest time of all those runners would be the winner of the race. I learned that early on. One of my sons won a heat, and, man, I was so excited, and then they were like third overall because you have to look at all the times of all the runners. So it looks like boys, if my eyes don't deceive me, in the blocks, getting ready. And, of course, probably what we're seeing is middle school right here.
Yep.
That was probably middle school girls, and we're probably seeing middle school boys get lined up.
I'm glad the middle schools are getting to compete tonight, Steve.
Yeah. You typically within a all-comers meet in the county, they have all-comers middle school meets and all-comers high school meets. We just saw a good example of a Bowling Green triple jumper there. He had a really great jump, but as he landed in the sand, his body weight went backwards, and he had to put his right hand back behind him about 1.5 feet, and so that got him.
Steve, you've seen this before, but the 3,200 meter story, and this was qualifying for state meet, and this young man, he was the top seed. Yes.
Everybody running the 300-meter hurdles.
Oh, that's a grueling race.
And it's just nasty grueling.
Yeah.
I mean, you talking about muscles burning.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're basically running a sprint with 10 jumps in the middle of it, and you better have timed those out. So I think we've got the girls' run-outs done.
Okay.
They're shaking it out and getting down in the blocks. The starters got the gun up, ready to go. And we'll get the girls running down the track. Pan out and let you see a little bit of pole vault in the middle there.
Okay, there it is.
We'll pick the girls up when they come into view and follow them on in. There's a start.
Okay.
Got a good start.
Looks like Warren East got out of the blocks well.
We do. We have a runner in the middle of the track from Warren East. That is.
Wow.
She's taking off.
Wow. That's impressive, Steve.
Good timing in between. Got her steps counted in between those hurdles and looks good. There's South Warren coming in second. It's like a Greenwood and another South Warren, maybe a Warren Central runner coming in there. Great job, ladies. Now we'll know if we have another heat of girls. If they don't raise the hurdles, we've got more girls coming. We'll give you some pole vault while we wait. Believe we have another heat of girls because they will have to raise the hurdle 2 clicks to get up to the boys' height.
You know, another thing among the many things I respect about these track and field student athletes and the coaches, Steve, they travel more than a lot of teams.
Yep.
They don't have many home meets.
Well, fortunately, that's a great thing about having 5 local teams here is because you can have a lot of meets within Warren County and Bowling Green, and you don't have to travel as much. I know each of these teams traveled. They all have different kind of mindsets. Some will travel a lot. Some will travel a little. But, a lot of track meets happen during the week, and you're talking about 4-hour track meet.
Right.
Starts at 5:30. You got to beat it getting there. Then it's not over till 9:30 or 10, and if you're 2 hours away, So it's a great advantage to the teams to have each other here to run against. Now, the disadvantage to that is when you get to the state level and you haven't competed against those runners from different areas, then, that can be a little bit of a disadvantage. So, well, they're raising some hurdle. All right, so we are done. If you'll take a look in the picture. So they're moving one down, and then they will add one at the very end. So I apologize. We do not have another heat of girls. You'll see them click those hurdles up 1, and you see that gentleman 2, tip it over, get the weight in the right spot. And so as they finish that and get all those done, then we will be ready to run some boys 110-meter hurdle, 110-meter hurdles. Girls run 100-meter hurdle, boys run 110-meter hurdle.
Yeah, Steve, you mentioned the 300-meter hurdles. At about that,
I'd collapse about 3 feet before the first hurdle.
It's with about 60 meters left. Oh man, it just, I'm like, those last 60 meters, those competitors have to seem like 600 meters.
Oh yeah, it's just brutal.
Yeah,
brutal.
Mike Clough, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network, courtesy of Prep Spin. Big thanks to Prep Spin CEO and co-owner William Warfield. We're live streaming our first track and field invitational meet of the season.
Talking about facilities, right now as it stands, Warren East and South Warren have the only 2 pole vault facilities in the district. When they finish remodeling, renovating Greenwoods, they will have a pole vault facility. That was the one thing that kept teams in our area from being able to host a regional meet is we couldn't accommodate the pole vault.
Okay.
But now that there's facilities in Warren County that can accommodate that, then you see more opportunities to host a regional track meet here. But that used to hold us up as far as being able to host that. Regions is a big meet. And so it's big time racing and field events.
Steve, we have final results from the girls 4x800 meter relay and the boys 4x800 meter relay. I don't want to miss the start of this meet, Steve, and I'll run these by after. Looks like they're about ready to start.
Okay.
And I'll give you these results here right after this 110-meter hurdle event.
Again, we're gonna let them watch a little bit of the pole vault, but we'll pick these guys running, the guy hurdlers coming into view, and then we'll try to follow them into the finish line. Pole vaulter going down the track right there, doing some practice and some reps, just trying to get his steps in. You know, they do a lot with timing and counting the number of steps they have. That's what determines where they start on the runway. And, you know, they use this time to try to get those steps down. After the 110, men's 110 hurdles here, then we'll clear the track of hurdles and we'll go into the 100-meter dash.
Okay.
Again, just to recap, we started out with ladies on the track with a 4x800. Every 4 runners, each runner ran 2 laps, and we went to the men's 4x800. And then we switched to the ladies' 100-meter hurdles, and now we're at the men's 110 hurdles. Each of the winners get points, and here we go. The men are coming down the track. We'll try to catch them here and follow them in. There we are. Got a Warren East runner there.
South Warren gaining.
Yeah.
South Warren taking the lead. Wow. He's finishing strong. Nicely done. Steve, you mentioned the 4x800 relays. Let me run down the girls' side. Greenwood finished first. Their relay consists of Lily Clark running first, Kylie Sutton second, Charlotte Johnson third, and Claire Ellington finished fourth. Bowling Green was second. On the boys' side, Bowling Green finished first. Their runners were Zane Grinstead, John Hunter, Brandon Messman, and Michael House. Warren East finished second. Their relay consisted of Jacob Dockery, Trevor Hudnall, Sean Root, and Sincere Smith. And Greenwood ran third. And, Steve, I think these names will be familiar to you. Their relay consists of Hunter Cleary, Lucas Gann, Andrew Champion, and Isaac Truelove.
Sure. Yep, they are. So we've got another heat of men about to come down the track.
Okay.
And that first heat would have been considered what you call your hot heat. That's usually your fastest 8 runners entered in the event, and they will typically run against each other.
Steve, here's my soapbox, and you and I are old school about this, but I feel strongly about this. A number of these student athletes here tonight compete in multiple sports, and I think that's what student athletes should do. I don't like the programs that insist on their student athletes sticking to one sport. I
would say the majority of these kids out here, a lot of your distance kids out here will have run cross country.
Yep.
A lot of your sprinters will have played football or basketball or soccer.
Yep.
So yeah, I would say more than 50% of these athletes have participated in a different sport. All right, the gun's up. Getting ready for heat number 2. Sometimes these second heats aren't always full, depending on how many runners you have left to run. There's the gun. We have a good start. We have 3 runners in this heat.
Looks like Bowling Green has out to the lead with South Warren and Greenwood trying to gain now. Oh. Yeah, and I said I cringe when I see that, Steve. I hope, and credit to that young man for Bowling Green. He got back up and finished. South Warren finished first in that heat.
That's why you have weights in those, because if you don't have weights and that hurdle doesn't want to fall forward, then something's got to give, and it usually ends up being that student athlete, and that's not good. So you will see them. We might want to take a break here, Mike. You're the executive producer, but we're going to have a little bit of a break because they have to clear the track of all the hurdles, and actually before they clear the track, they put them all the way back down so they're ready to start for the next meet, which will be here next week, or the Raider Classic a week from Friday. So those hurdles will all be ready for them. So if you want to take a break, we'll catch everybody on the backside of this word from one of our sponsors. And we're here at Kinskade Track here at the lovely campus of Warren East High School.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Who's not a runner now? I am proof of the power of advanced medicine.
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom.
Possible with doctors, nurses, therapists, and specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital, and for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives. It's saving lifetimes.
Hope we have a false start.
I'll tell you the thing, Steve, that just impresses me after a race is done, how the meet officials and the volunteers are able to get the order of the finishers and the times together so quickly. It is most impressive.
Well, camera and computer do a lot of that now, but on distance events, you still have somebody that has to put them in order. The computer will give you a time, but you have to tell the computer who that time belongs to. That's the one thing about those long distance events. Excuse me. So we'll get them all reset at the start line. Our KHSAA official is using this as a teachable moment again for our middle schoolers. And we had a false start in the middle school 100-meter hurdles, men's 100-meter hurdle. So again, we've had a false start here in the women's 100, and we're having a teachable moment. And we'll get them reset, lined up, and off and running.
Do you like those teachable moments they're having at this meet tonight, Steve?
Well, it depends on how tired I am.
Okay.
And how late it is.
Okay.
I'm going to be real with you, Mike. This one's moving a little slow so far. It could get going. So, if that teachable moment, if you got too many teachable moments, then you have teachable hours.
Yes.
And but, at the end of the day, I would rather have an official that teaches kids rather than fusses at kids.
Yeah.
And punishes kids. Now, again, when you get into the regional meet, there's not going to be any teachable moments. You're out.
Right.
That's going to be the teachable moment. You false started and you're out of the race. Period. No discussion. So teachable moment here with these middle schoolers. That's a great thing about our. This particular official comes out of Owensboro. Comes out of Davis County. She does a lot of meets here, and she's really good. She's familiar with all the coaches. They're familiar with her. She also does cross country, which happens a lot. The track officials and cross country officials kind of do both. And here we go. We got the girls coming down the track.
That looks like Moss Middle School out in the lead.
Yep, Moss coming out.
Good performance.
Again, I apologize if the camera's a little shaky, but that way we can get as much of that race as we can. So we've got the boys middle school 100-meter coming up. Looks like boys are getting in the blocks.
Steve, while we're at this, let's give a big salute to all the volunteers this meet and the time they're spending on this. Fantastic.
Yeah, well, and Lil, the KHSAA official, she gets paid a little bit, but you got to remember she's traveling from Owensboro. After a day of work, usually. She was a track coach herself, and then she's working this meet, which she'll probably devote about 5 or 6 hours to.
Yep.
And then she's going to drive home.
Yep.
And it's a long evening for them. For you and I, it's a pretty quick trip. We don't have when Art Schuba retired. He was a KHSAA official and former track coach at Greenwood, but he was local here. We don't have any local officials for track and field anymore, starters and officials. So they're all coming either from E-Town or Owensboro or points beyond that, but. This particular official does a lot of meets around here. I've worked with her a lot. She's very, very good with kids, and she knows when it's time to be firm, and she knows when it's time to to have a teachable moment.
Steve, you mentioned she's working 5 or 6 hours tonight. 0 breaks, going nonstop.
No.
That is admirable.
I'll tell you, the first break she'll have is probably the 1 mile run, which is quite a ways down. She'll get them started, run to the restroom while somebody counts laps because you don't, that's all you're doing is running 4 laps there. She'll try to run to the restroom and back out before they finish. However, she doesn't necessarily have to be at the finish line because the computer will take pictures and the volunteers will write down an order.
Yep.
So unless you got 2 runners that come across simultaneously, but again, the computer makes the call on who it was. So even she won't make that final call because the picture that shows up on the computer screen can tell, just a 1/1000th of a second difference in runners. It can pick out that. So.
Wow. I'm blown away by what technology has.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah. All right, we're getting these gentlemen into blocks, getting some run-outs here. And she'll give them an opportunity to do a couple run-outs, then she'll call them all back and get them down. You get in your blocks, you go down, you have to be still. First thing you do is you stand behind your blocks. That's what she'll do. She'll tell them to stand behind their blocks. And once everybody's behind their blocks and listening, then she will tell them on your mark, which means everybody puts both feet back on the blocks and puts a knee down on the ground. And both hands have to be on the ground. Then she'll say set. And then we've all heard ready, set, go, or on your mark, get set, go. But in a sprint, it's actually on your mark, set. And then she does not say go, she shoots the gun. So it's on your mark, set, boom. That's how a sprint works. So boys are in the blocks. She's got them down at ready. And guns up. She'll call them up to set. And there we go. Wait for everybody's rear end to be still. And here they come.
Good battle here between Moss Middle School and Warren East. And also South Warren Middle School. Looks like Moss Middle School wins in that one. Good race, Steve. And I'm guessing now they'll go to the girls' high school.
Girls' high school coming.
Yep.
Well, so the good thing is, from the time perspective, is we're only seeing one heat of most all these things. So thank you to the coaches, for not entering half the student body at their high school or middle school in an event. Now, we still haven't got to the 200 yet, and that's a popular one.
Okay.
If you're going to see a bunch of heats, that's where you'll see them, the 100 and 200.
Why is that, Steve? Do you have any idea?
Because those are the romantic races. Everybody wants to run the 100-meter dash.
Okay.
What at the NFL Combine, what do you see on the highlights? You see the 40-meter.
Yep.
The 40-yard. Everybody wants to run under 10 seconds on the 100 meters. If they're talking about a wide receiver in football, how fast he is, you're usually going to hear a 4.2, a 4.3. That's a 40-yard dash. Those sprints are the popular ones, of 100 and 200. So the girls are doing some runouts down there. I don't see our official, to be honest with you. She's probably reloading her gun.
Yep.
She has to do that about every 6 starts. And if she had a false start there, she'll have to do it every 5 starts. And
girls' long jump is still in progress. You can see there, along with the you don't see it on camera, but the boys' triple jump.
So let me ask you this, Mike. So we had a boy just go down. He actually fouled, but a Bowling Green jumper went down for a triple jump. Why do you think he'd be jumping and nobody else is there? That's a good question, right, Steve?
That is a really good question.
All right, so he probably competed in another event.
Yeah.
And so that pit will stay open for him as long as he comes straight there after his other event. He's allowed to take his jumps. That way students can compete in variety. Student can compete, I believe, in up to 3 events. So he may have been running the hurdles.
Yeah.
And when he was done with his hurdles, he has to come and take his jumps.
Does he have a time limit, Steve? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Well, especially when you get to a regional type level. Now here, they're again, you want kids to get reps in and repetitions and jumps, and they tend to be a little more liberal. But yes, at a regional meet or an invitational meet, you have a very strict time guideline, and if you walk up there 2 minutes after that time is up, then you are not going to make your jumps, whether that's a high jump, long jump, or triple jump, or pole vault. So
Mike Clef, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network, courtesy Prep Spin. We're about ready to start the girls' high school 100-meter dash. We're at the City County Invitational Track and Field Meet at Warren East High School.
The gun's up. Girls are in the blocks. We're set. And there we go.
Looks like Greenwood, both their competitors are out to very good starts.
That's Anna Drexel.
Yep.
She's a school record holder and state record holder in a few events.
And she is a terrific young lady.
You want me to blow your mind away? This is only
Yep.
the second year she's ever run track. Yep. Last year she was equally as impressive, and it was the very first year she'd ever run track.
And I'll tell you what, Steve, she's a multi-sport athlete.
She's going to go. She's going to go to college and run track. She's a soccer player, also, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Good soccer player.
Oh yeah, and every time I've crossed paths with her, she's polite, she's respectful, she's wonderful.
Her dad's here. Saw him a couple times.
He's a good guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's probably down there close to the finish line, but he's been up here in the stands.
Yep.
A minute ago, Coach Garrett from Greenwood and Coach Barnett were watching the finish down there.
You said only the second year she's competed in track
second
and field?
year she's been in track and field, and she's holds an indoor state record and holds numerous Greenwood outdoor records. All right, so we've got, looks like another heat of girls. We're going to have 3 runners in this last heat.
It looks like, Steve, so far as when they have heats, they put the faster competitors.
You're going to have that hot heat. We'll always run first.
Yep. Steve, in the backdrop is the baseball field, and Warren East is hosting Glasgow tonight, the state champion Raiders.
Right. They played last night in Glasgow,
Yep.
and Warren East won. Came from behind and won.
They're going to hope to do the same thing tonight. They're trailing 3-1.
Well, that's last night, Yep. Mike, the game we broadcast for them, they were trailing and came back and won. So maybe that's their MO is they got to get behind to get lit up on fire. So we'll be pulling for Warren East back there. Great group of guys and parents and coaches. All right, we got the final heat of girls 100 meters in the blocks. The gun's up. She's got them ready. And set. And there we go.
The South Warren student athlete is out in front, trailed by Bowling Green, and Warren Central is in third as that race is about to finish. Steve, I got a question for you on the elementary front. What kind of athletic curricular activities or intramurals do the elementary schools offer, whether it's official or unofficial?
Honestly, the biggest one that's official is cross country. They can run. There's an elementary division at the state level.
Okay.
KHSAA sanctions an elementary level cross country. That's about it until you get to sixth grade. Sixth graders, you can typically find several sixth graders playing on middle school because in many districts, sixth grades are housed at middle school.
Okay.
So sixth graders can participate in sanctioned sports at the middle school level. But other than that, that's it. You don't see a lot of intramurals at the elementary level because in order to do intramurals, you got to have coaches. You got to have that support staff, and elementary schools typically don't have enough people. There might be 25 teachers at an elementary school. There might be 65 at a high school. So you have a much bigger population of teachers to draw from.
Steve, were there Lost River Elementary sixth graders that would compete on athletic teams at Moss Middle School?
Okay. Especially soccer, football, baseball.
All right, we have some more final results to pass along, and thank you so much here to the great hospitality at Warren East. Looks like, Steve, I might have a moment.
You got a moment. We're not down in the blocks yet.
Okay. The girls' 100-meter middle school finals. Congratulations to the first-place finisher, Zawadi Omari from Warren East. Second place was Riata Jones, and third place was Mawa Faustine from Moss Middle School. Again, if I mispronounce any names, I apologize. Congratulations to them. The boys' 100-meter hurdles in middle school, and I'll stop here because they're about ready to start. And I believe they're right. Yep, there we go.
Yep,
Steve.
here we go.
Yep.
Pick up the boys 100 meters. This is be the hot heat, so they will be cruising past us pretty
Wow.
fast.
What a race, and it looks like Warren Central's going to win this one, Steve. Wow. That was that was fun to watch.
Yeah.
The boys 100-meter hurdles middle school results. Jordan Jones of Drakes Creek was first. Xander Stanke from South Warren was second. And Ryder Lambert of Drakes Creek was third. I work with Xander's dad in my freelance job with Leachman Buick GMC, and Xander's father is a great guy to work with. The girls 100-meter high school results. Tiana Woods from Warren East is your winner. Zoe Elrod from South Warren was second, and Lodi Gishe from South Warren was third. Again, if I mispronounce any names, I apologize. The boys 110 meters hurdles high school results. Charlie Hendricks from South Warren, your winner. Romello Mead from Warren East was second, and Trent Arterburn from Warren East was third. Drew Smothers, by the way, was fourth. And that takes us through Event 8. Again, thank you for passing along the results. Okay, Steve, what's as the pole vault is going on in the background and the high jump still going on, Steve, what's our next track and field event? Do you know?
What do I look like, Mike?
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
That's okay.
Yeah, let me see who's here. We're bringing the blocks down, so I'm going to take a guess at a 400 meter because we wouldn't be using blocks if we were anything more than 400 meter.
Okay.
So, no,
Okay.
I take it. You know what this is going to be? This is going to either be the 4x2 or 4x1.
Gotcha.
Let's see. It looks to me like the 4x2. If we was 4x1, we'd see a group of runners in the second turn, third turn, and fourth turn. But I only see a group of runners in the third turn, which is where the handoff zone for the 4x2. So here we go.
Okay.
So we got ladies going first, middle school 4x2. So we will start down here at the start-finish line. And those runners will actually run. I'm going to pan all the way back here to turn 3. You'll see a set of runners all the way back there. They're kind of hard to see.
Yep.
And they'll make a handoff back there, and those runners will continue running all the way back around right here in front of us. Hand off to another runner at the start-finish line who will run back to turn 3, hand off to the anchor leg, the fourth runner, and they will bring it all the way home to the finish line. So we're going to start with the 4x2. So this should be the ladies 4x2. Middle school, because here comes a runner with a Moss uniform, and so that obviously makes this middle school.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll run the 4x2 middle school girls, 4x2 middle school boys, 4x2 high school varsity girls, 4x4 varsity boys. These are pretty quick. A high school runner is going to run the 200 meters in typically a little bit less than 20 seconds. So you got 4 runners at about 20 seconds. So you got about a minute and a half. Girls will be between a minute and a half and 2 minutes. So this will be a very quick race. 4 very quick races. I'm just looking around the crowd, you know. It always makes me smile, you know.
Yep.
From the years in Warren County Schools, I see staff of every different capacity. I'm looking down to my right. I'm seeing Ashley Barnes. Ashley Barnes is one of our amazing student counselors. Works with Todd Hazel. Works with kids, many kids in crisis, and I actually saw her today at work and had a minute to chat with her, and then here she is tonight cheering on her athlete. And, you know, I'm looking around. It's just fun to see all the different people again. We talked about Leslie Smothers, the assistant principal at Briarwood, is here. Just great to see people out. It's amazing the connection, the web that goes along with people. You know, we think about teachers as being teachers, but, you know, they're also parents, they're also coaches, they're also fans, they're also you know, they're everywhere too. We do have families outside of that school building. Sometimes we don't get to see them very much, but we do. So with the 200, 4x200, you're going to see the blocks, and you'll see if we had a runner in lane 1, that block would be right on top of that letter, the number 1 down there, right at the start-finish line. And then these lanes are color-coded with triangles. I don't know if you can see those or not.
I do.
But for the 200-meter, there's a particular color triangle. So you see those starting blocks staggered up through there. And again, that runner in lane 5 does not have an advantage. But if they didn't start up there, they would be running a lot longer distance than that runner in lane 2. By staggering them like that, then all the runners are running exactly the same distance.
And they have to stay.
They have to stay in their
lane.
lane. This is a lane start and lane finish, so everybody will run the entire race in their lanes. There are also exchange zones over there in turn 3, and there are 2 triangles. More than likely, it's red to red, a red triangle to a red triangle, and your exchange, the handoff of the baton, has to happen in that exchange zone.
Steve, the Warney's Middle School and the Moss Middle School competitors that are standing there off the start.
Those are your runner number 3.
Third legs, okay.
Yeah.
Third legs.
Runners 1 and 3 are here at the start-finish line. Runners 2 and 4 are all the way across the track in lane 3. So our Warney's parent at the start-finish line is giving the starter a white flag, which means you're ready. Runners are in the blocks. Ready, set, and there we have a start. Here we go. We'll try to follow them. We can follow it everywhere but turn 4, and we'll lose them just a little bit in turn 4. So here we go, coming down the back stretch, about halfway through, about 100 meters, and coming up on the first exchange, we've got, it's like,
That looks like
Moss Middle School made a great exchange there, and you can see the advantage they gave their young lady.
Oh, yeah.
You know, exchanges can make or break a team in this particular race. If they have their steps timed out and they make a great handoff, you can make up a lot of ground. So here we come. Down the home stretch, we're going to make an exchange again to the third leg. You see that exchange for Moss was a little bit choppy, and it caused the third runner to have to stop a little bit. But, man, she is off and going.
Good battle going on here between Moss Middle School and South Warren Middle School.
South Warren runners pulled ahead a little bit, a lot of bit. And we'll see what happens in this last exchange. You'll see on the back side of the exchange, you see a white flag up. If you happen to have a runner that exchanges outside the exchange zone, you would see a red flag come up, and that official over there would come to the start-finish line and let the meet official know which team handed off outside the exchange zone and was therefore disqualified. So we have, looks like South Warren, am I correct, Mike? South Warren Middle School coming around.
Yep.
Blazing. Here she comes. Down the home stretch, about 100 meters to go.
And, you know, Steve, I think you mentioned it. All 3 handoffs they had of the baton for South Warren were flawless.
Yep. So you're going to have South Warren, Warren East, Moss, and Greenwood rounding out the field. So next we will have the boys 4x2.
Steve, I was thinking about this too when your wife Laura, who's great by the way, she's in attendance tonight.
Well, let's correct that. She was in attendance.
Oh, she was? Okay.
Since Sam's not running, I mean,
okay. But I cannot imagine the number of times. It has to be really cool. She's a kindergarten teacher at Cumberland Trace, and it has to be really cool when she has former students compete at high school sports at Greenwood. I bet that is.
There's a lot. There's a lot of these Moss and Warren Central runners that were mine when they were little.
Yep.
And especially these Moss runners.
Okay.
A lot of those fellas.
That's a cool feeling, isn't it, Steve?
Yep.
It really is.
So we've got
this is the boys' middle school?
Yeah, this is Greenwood in, let's see, trying to get them laned out. So we got Warren East in lane 3, Moss in lane 4, South in lane 5, and Greenwood in lane 6 here. So, again, this is middle school boys 200.
Okay.
Everybody runs half a lap.
Do you think I have time to mention final results, Steve?
I think you can get one in probably.
Okay. The girls' middle school 100-meter dash, Catavia Green from Moss Middle School first, Alyssa Jones from Drakes Creek Middle School second, and Edna Obdick of South Warren was third. I'll try to get the boys' middle school 100-meter dash. Cole Doe from Moss Middle School first, Isaiah Bridges from South Warren second, and Zachary Burton from Warren East third. Team scores middle school after 10 events, or so far up-to-date standings, I should say. Warren East Girls Middle School leading with 20 points. South Warren Middle School with 15 points. Drakes Creek Middle School with 13, and Moss Middle School with 12. On the boys' side, Drakes Creek leads with 22. Moss has 12. Warren East Middle School is third with 10. South Warren Middle School South Warren Middle School has 6. So that's where we stand up to date. Steve, I got those in quickly.
I will tell our listeners, if you Google KHSAA track and field order of events, it will give you a nice little chart that will tell you what's coming up. So if you're looking to see a friend or family member running or jumping or doing something in an event, it'll tell you how far down the list. We are at the 4x200.
And it looks like we're about ready to go, Steve.
All right, she's got them standing behind their blocks. Again, the sequence of events to start a sprinting race is the official will instruct the runners to stand behind the blocks. Then she'll say, on your mark, which means get in the blocks. So you'll see them get in, both feet on the blocks, 2 hands on the ground, and 1 knee on the ground. They have to be down on the ground. They can't have their rear ends up in the air at this point. You see them down on their knees. She'll say set, and you'll see everybody's rear end pop up just like that, and there we go. You'll also see people come out and grab those blocks because the leg number 3 has to run in those same lanes, so they'll grab those blocks. We'll catch up to the runners here.
They've got a hustle on that.
They've got a hustle on this. We've got South Warren out front with Greenwood in second, Moss in third, and Warren East in fourth. Here comes the first handoff.
Good handoff by South Warren Middle School.
South Warren, yeah, it really was. Greenwood's had to hesitate a little bit, so Moss is catching up with them. We're going to come around here. We do have a little bit of turn 4 there we can see. Coming down the home stretch here to hand off to leg number 3, you have South Warren. You have Moss and Greenwood running neck and neck, and then Warren East. It's going to be 2 important handoffs here. South Warren made an effective handoff. Greenwood. Notice that the runners who just finished have to stay in their lanes in order not to impede the running of the next leg of another teammate. That would be a disqualification if they crossed in and impeded or got in the way of another runner. You see South Warren still out in front. You see Greenwood establish themselves in second, Moss in third, and Warren East in fourth. Here we come to the last handoff. This one's super important because here's your sprinters. Here's your 200 sprinters coming around the corner, your anchor leg.
Wow.
And these guys should be cooking with gas right here.
They are. They are. Wow, that South Warren anchor, he is flying.
He is cooking with gas.
Yep. That's an impressive performance by the South Warren Middle School.
We've got
4x200 meter
Moss
relay.
hanging in there. I believe he's going to catch the Greenwood runner. Yep.
Yep.
And then I believe that's a young man that won the middle school boys 100 100 meters.
Dash.
Yeah.
Okay.
For Moss.
I'll tell you what, that's a quick turnaround, Steve, going from run the 100-meter dash to,
that is.
to anchoring.
He's in good shape.
Yep.
All right, so we will have the girls 4x2 coming up, the girls high school varsity 4x2. If you're looking down there, you see them, they stay in their lanes. What will happen is somebody will come out on the track. Every runner, every athlete in this event has a number written on their top of their hand, and that's how the official makes sure that the runner started in lane 4, finished in lane 4. They'll come out and check everybody's number and make sure they finished in the right place. Let's pan around here. We'll get a little bit of the ladies' triple jump. We see the cone again. We'll tell what board they start from. And some people look, and after that first board, they were like, oh, well, she stepped over the other board. Mike, the only board that counts in the triple jump is the one with the cones.
Okay.
That jumper Once they jump on that first and make it legal on that first board, their next 2 jumps can happen anywhere.
It's the jumper's choice where they want the cone, right?
Right.
Okay.
But after that, you can't pay any attention to the other boards because they aren't in play. That jumper can step and jump wherever they want. It's only that first cone that can disqualify you if you step over that first board where you've instructed the officials to put that cone.
Okay.
So some people will look and say, well, she stepped over the last board. No, it doesn't matter. It's only that first board where the cones are that matter. So we've got the girls varsity 4x2 taking the run outs, and we'll get them going in just a second.
Mike Clef, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. As you can tell, Steve has been to 1 or 2 track meets or more in his lifetime, and appreciate his insights very much.
I've never been to a track meet. I'm just making all this stuff up, Mike. Gotcha. Fooled you.
Well, Steve, in all seriousness, I can tell by the tone in your voice there's emotion for you here.
It's my happy place.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable. You got baseball, softball, basketball, soccer, football, all that. I got track. You take care of the other ones. I got this one. All right, I'm not sure. I don't know if we're missing a team or what, but the starter, the Warren East parent has a white flag, so it looks like our official will make her way out. She will start this race from all the way up in front of the very front runner.
Okay.
So she'll go all the way up in front of that Warren East runner in lane 6, and that's where she'll stand to start this one.
Steve, and the other thing on those baton exchanges, we didn't tell people yet, not only does it have to be clean, it has to be within a certain zone, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Actually, dropping the baton itself doesn't necessarily disqualify you, but once you drop it, it takes so long to find it, pick it up, hand it off. I mean, you're done. But now stepping out of the exchange zone does disqualify you automatically.
Thank you very much. We have more final results.
I think you can probably get 1 or 2 in. She's got to walk a good ways to get up there.
The girls' pole vault in high school. Greenwood goes back-to-back here, first and second. Jessica Peterson wins it. Hannah Wiles is second. Tiana Benson is third. Girls' high school rankings after 4 events. Greenwood in first with 37. Warren East in second with 20. South Warren in third with 18. Bowling Green in fourth with 6. And Warren Central fifth with 2 points. Boy, and Steve, I hope I'm saying this in a complimentary way. Anna Drexel, who they just announced as the winner of the sprint, she has got, and you can see this during soccer, she has the lower body stronger, and strongest.
She's a competitor, too.
That's what I've heard.
All right, so we've got the girls in the girls 4x2 in the blocks. She's putting them down, guns up. We'll get them ready. We'll get them set in just a second.
Again, wonderful young lady.
And there we go. We've got a start.
Okay.
All right, looks like, of course, everybody looks like the South Warren runner. No, excuse me. We may have 2 Warren East teams in this. I'm trying to make out.
I believe we do.
First and third there.
Looks like
Greenwood sandwiched in between, and South Warren coming up in fourth. Got the first exchange. We'll confirm the identity of the teams as they come along the home stretch here at leg number 2.
Looks like Warren East is really gaining some ground. Greenwood in the lead, but Warren East is gaining, and you're right, Steve, that's 2 Warren East teams. And South Warren is the other one. So we don't have a team from Warren Central, and we don't have a team from Bowling Green.
Okay, we're going to hand off to runner number 3. I wonder if Miss Anna Drexel's waiting over there for Greenwood.
I'm wondering that myself, too.
Well, and you're going to know it real quick.
Okay.
She is a competitor.
She'll be shot out of a cannon, right?
She'll be shot out of a cannon.
Yep.
So, see what kind of exchange we get.
Yep.
And There she goes.
That's Anna, isn't it?
I believe so. But now I will say this, that Warren East competitor is blazing too.
Yep.
So this is going to be a great finish. Two ladies on their way down.
Wow, what a finish here,
Yeah,
Steve.
it's not.
What a
Listen, it is not over yet. It is. I believe she's going to catch her.
Did she catch her, Steve?
It's going to be photo finish. Let
Wow.
the camera make the decision.
And speaking
Wow,
of the
that
cameras,
was a great comeback.
Steve, while we got to mention the camera, we might want to. Hi, Mr. Clayton. If you could filter down one.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yep.
I was just testing you to see if you were paying attention.
Good job. Give a shout out. Walking into the press box is our esteemed leader, Mr. Rob Clayton, and very much appreciate his support, along with Chief Operations Officer Jason Cupchella and Chief Financial Officer Chris McIntyre. You know, Steve, go back, all three of them. Mr. Clayton was there during the state basketball final throughout the tournament, but you and I know this. He's not just at the main sports, and I'm not surprised he's here tonight. He is everywhere, and it's a real credit to him.
So we got the boys getting their blocks down.
Yep.
Each especially when you get into the varsity athletes here, each of them like their blocks in just their starting blocks in just a slightly different way, depending on the length of their legs, the length of their arms. So a lot of times, the volunteers will get them on there, but then the runners themselves. Those blocks have spikes on the bottom, and of course, we talked about earlier. This is a rubber track, so those spikes grab into the rubber track, which allows them to push off. A lot of young athletes like for their teammates to stand on the back of those blocks because they feel like they're nervous those blocks are going to move, but that's actually illegal. When you get out to the regional level, you can't have anybody out on the track standing on your block. You got to pound that sucker in and be ready to roll. So the boys here, looks like we've got a Bowling Green team. We've got I can't catch that. It's like maybe a South and a Warren East and a Bowling Green team, if I'm not mistaken.
Steve, if I could interject here real quick, by your vantage point, who do you think won that girls 4x200 meter relay?
I want to say the Warren East runner may have got her right at the end, but wow, what a finish.
Anna really gained
She
some
closed the gap. But listen, Anna's a great runner. Let's give credit to that Warren East runner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was, hauling the mail as it was. So, I'm sure Mr. Clayton in his day would have won that sprint. I know he would have. I have all the faith in the world. But, it's a good thing for these kids he didn't wear his gear tonight.
Okay. You texted last week. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay.
All right, we got the boys behind the blocks. Again, the sequence is the boys will stand behind the blocks. They'll get in the blocks and get those rear ends set, and they have to be still for a second, and then she'll get them off and running.
Steve, I have some more final results here. Anna Drexel, the 100-meter dash that she won, and I'll run those down here in a moment.
Okay.
If I remember right, in his coaching days, I think Mr. Clayton coached track and field.
He may have.
I think he did.
I mostly remember him being a basketball coach, and
Yep.
if you've ever stood beside him, you understand why he was involved in basketball. He's just a little bit taller than I am.
Just like Jason Cupchella.
Yeah, Mr. Cupchella. Yeah, well, I won't give him as much credit as Mr. Clayton because Mr. Clayton's the big boss. So, all right, we got a white flag. She's putting the runners in the blocks. We definitely only have 3 teams in this race.
Okay.
So, here we go. They're ready. They are set. And there's the gun. We have South Warren, lane 6. Looks like Warren East in lane 5 and Bowling Green in lane 4.
Okay.
Going down the back stretch. Sorry for the quick camera movements, but that's the only way you can catch these guys. They're flying.
Looks like Warren East is out to the best start so far, Steve.
Yeah, he's caught up ground on South Warren. Great exchange on both parts, but here are these guys coming around turn 4. We'll pick them up here and carry them all the way into the handoff to the third runner, third leg of the race.
Raiders have a solid lead right now over South Warren and Bowling Green.
Again, once those runners exchange, the runners that just completed their leg have to stay in their lane. That way they don't impede the progress of another team. Then once everybody is handed off for that leg, then they exit the track. So we're coming down the back stretch. You still have Warren East with a lead, making the final. Good exchange there. Good exchange for South Warren. All three teams made good exchanges there. But here we come around the turn 4. They're going to be running like gazelles, Mike.
They are. And this is Warren East that, barring something shocking, is going to come in and win this. Wow.
Yeah. Strong showing by the Warren East sprinters.
Yep. So
and
Warren East
South
wins.
Warren coming in second and Bowling Green in third.
Steve, the official final results from the girls' 100-meter dash. We just talked about Anna Drexel. She finished first. Her teammate Myra Jones was second. And an 8th grader from Warren East, Naomi Miralda, was third. In the boys' 100-meter dash, D'Angelo Patterson from Warren Central. Steve, we remember him from the football season.
Sure.
LaQuinton Flippin, his dad is the pitching coach for Warren East baseball. He finished second. And Connor Doyle, we remember him from the basketball season. He finished third. The girls' standings, Greenwood leads right now with 23 points. South Warren is second with 16. Warren East is third with 15. Bowling Green fourth with 6. And Warren Central fifth with 2. On the boys' side, Warren East leads with 26. South Warren is second with 12. Warren Central third with 9. Tied for third with 9 is Bowling Green, and Greenwood has 6 points. Steve, what do you think of this meet so far?
Well, we're starting to move a little quicker here now. All the runners are kind of getting in sync and got tuned in, and it's starting to flow a little bit better. You always get the feel once you get the runners in the flow of the meet. They're moving a little quicker because if they've done another event, they don't want to get cool. They don't want their bodies to cool off. They want to stay warm. So we are ready for the next event.
What was it like watching Will and Sam compete as a parent when they're competing?
I didn't watch them a whole lot.
You're kidding me.
Really? Well, I mean, on purpose.
Okay.
I would glance.
Why?
I would watch it. Yeah, I'd be too critical of them if I watched too much. And they didn't want Dad coaching them. And listen. I don't know anything about. I'm making all this up as I go, Mike. So they didn't need me coaching them.
Okay.
They were much more successful without me coaching them.
Okay.
So soccer, track, cross country, you name it, they did better without me.
I'm convinced the parents get more nervous than the student athletes.
Yeah. I'm going to guess we got the mile run coming up here.
Okay.
I was trying to narrow it down between the 800 and the mile, but I believe the 800 would be laned at the beginning, and then they'd be able to cross over. But we'll know real quick after 2 laps. If they keep running, it's a mile. If they stop, it's 800. How about that?
Sounds good. And, Steve, after this race gets underway, we'll take a break because we'll be back in plenty of time before the finish of the 1,600-meter run.
Either way, we're going to run at least 2 laps here.
Okay.
I'll probably leave the camera right where it is and just let them, once we stay on the air, we'll let them catch them as they cross the finish line, start-finish line for their next lap.
I want to thank our sponsors, MedCenter Health, UK Healthcare, and Mingy Beef Jerky. And here we are underway. So we will take a quick
I'm going to tell you, just my gut tells me by the pace that they're running, this is a mile.
Okay.
If this was 800, I'd expect them maybe to pick up the pace just a little bit. So we'll go check out our sponsors, UK Healthcare, and always appreciate our sponsors, and we'll get a word in from them.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives. It's saving lifetimes.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or
Perfect.
get up.
Looks good. It's good. We're gonna take it up.
Who's not a runner now? I am proof of the power of advanced medicine.
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom.
What's wrong with these? I think we're gonna need a bigger suitcase.
This is a Mingy moment.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Welcome back to Warren East High School, City County Track and Field Invitational. Mike Kleff and Steve Sanders. Always appreciate Steve, but more than ever tonight because this is a sport that Steve has been around for several years, and you just hear the passion in his voice. Right now, the 1,600-meter run in progress for the boys and girls middle school. They combine the girls and boys competitors.
And just for the audience out there, 1,600 meter is code word for 1 mile.
Yep.
4 laps. When we see the boys run this, boys high school run this, we'll see our friend Cage Duncan run it. He's a Greenwood record holder, and probably has a very good chance of winning the state title in the 1,600 meter. That's his #1 event. 800 meters he runs also, but he participates in if you've been around Kentucky track and field very much, you will have heard of the race called the Dream Mile, which is run in the spring, and it's an invitational. You have to be invited to run it, all the top milers in the state. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Cates has run a 4-minute, 15-second mile this year so far. Now, put that in perspective. He's 16 seconds away from running a sub-4-minute mile. That is just
that's phenomenal.
Unreal.
It's phenomenal.
We'll see tonight. I'm going to be honest, this late in the season, we might not see – we'll see him win. I feel confident. That's no disrespect to any of the other runners. No disrespect at all, but he is a solid competitor in that 1,600. But we may not see him run a 4:15 tonight because this late in the season he would not want to risk injuring himself. You know, we're just about 4 weeks away from the region, and, you know, he's already starting to get his body in sync for that. So it'll be interesting. I expect to see him probably win the race, but I would not expect to see him run a 4:15.
Steve, as you mentioned the state meet, it's held in Lexington.
Yep.
And to
University
my knowledge,
of Kentucky.
Yep, and to my knowledge, it has been there for many years, the state meet.
Run on the blue track there at the Kentucky facility.
That's a real memory for those high school students.
Usually hot
or
storming.
Yep.
I've known it both ways. So
when I worked at WBKO, I went over there one day, Steve, to cover it, and it was a downpour. It was an absolute downpour.
You know, track is an amazing sport, because when you start track in the spring and you go to your child's very first track meet, you are wearing base layer, hat, coat, gloves, scarf, freezing to death.
Yeah.
When you go to if you are lucky enough to go to the state meet, you're wearing shorts, a t-shirt, and sweating.
And putting on
sunscreen. You never know. I mean, we're a few days away from May tonight, and it's going to be a cool night.
Yep.
By the time this meet's over, it'll be down in the 50s.
I'll tell you what, Steve. These conditions, I think, are ideal for these competitors.
Yeah. There we see the first Greenwood Greenwood athlete male crosses the finish line first.
Yep. Looks like our first
Actually,
female.
it looks like Greenwood South and another Greenwood runner. Then here comes the South female, the first female runner.
Yep. We still looks like we now have the boys' long jump going on.
Yep. As since these guys, I'm going to pan out a little bit, and we can catch the remaining runners coming by
Sure.
and the long jump.
Sure.
Again, you have the board closest to the pit down there. That's the board that counts.
Yep.
And they don't pick their board in the long jump,
Yep.
but their toe cannot leave that white board, that white line. If any bit of their shoe goes over that line, then it is a scratch. And again, you see that jumper fall forward because your mark is measured from the farthest back part of you that touches the sand. So if you fall backwards, it's not to your benefit.
Steve, I just was thinking.
I believe that was Malik Jefferson, wasn't it, that just jumped for Warren Central?
That was Malik Jefferson, and he's a state championship level competitor again this
in
spring.
Multi-sports. Not just two, probably three. Does he play football with them?
Yes.
So football, basketball, track and field.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And he's a definite contender for state titles.
He's a gamer.
Yep. In the long jump and the triple jump. And Steve, the pole vault continues on. It's on the other side of the field. And, Steve, I don't know if you've ever been to a meet where this has happened, but when the pole snaps.
I have not seen that live in person, but listen, I'm scared of heights, so that's not for me.
It snapped, and the student athlete landed in the pit, so it was fine. But that sound of that snap, Steve, it is frightening.
All right, here we come with the girls varsity mile runners coming down.
I see competitors from South Warren East, a couple from Greenwood, and one from Bowling Green. I think I see three from Greenwood, Steve.
Yeah, two from Bowling Green. I think one's wearing a sweatshirt she's taking off right now. So two Warren East, two South, two Greenwood, and two Bowling Green.
You know, Steve, we were mentioning about Malik Jefferson, and one of the many great things about the boys basketball coach at Warren Central, Will Unseld, he wants his basketball players to compete in other sports.
Well, and if nothing else, it keeps them in condition.
Yes.
All these sports work different muscles.
Yes.
So it's not that they're doing the exact same thing 12 months a year. They're working on lots of different muscles and body systems and endurance. And, it's great. And that's why you see so many of these kids excel.
Yes.
Because, back when my oldest was running, in his prime, he would run from the first week in June until the last week. Well, the first week in June to the first week in November, he'd run cross country. He'd have off about 5 weeks, and then the first week of January to the last week in May, he'd run track. So all but 6 weeks a year he was running.
That's one sport, Steve. This fall, I hope we get to live stream a cross country meet or two. We can work out the Wi-Fi, whether it's at Fillmore Park.
Fillmore is a Wi-Fi black hole, so
yes.
we'll have to do something there, but we'll see. Warren East has out at Ephraim White Park, the Raider Run is a Twilight Run is always a good race to run somewhere around Labor Day. Either Labor Day or the weekend after. We might get out there if we can get some signal.
Yep.
That's always a good one.
Want to give a salute, Steve, to someone that you and I both know very well. He coached cross country, coached track and field. He's now the assistant principal at South Warren High School, Nick Lowe.
Nick Lowe, yeah.
And Steve, you know better than me. When I moved here, he was the athletic director at Greenwood, and then became the athletic director at South Warren High School before his current role as assistant principal. But a number of people told me he was a really good coach.
He was. Kids loved him.
Yeah.
Again, there we go with the start of the girls' 1,600 meter, otherwise known as the mile run. And a little bit later in the meet, we'll have the 3,200 meter, which is also known as the 2-mile run. I'm just going to leave the camera there. We'll maybe back it up just a little bit and catch a little bit more of it. But we've got 4 laps to go, so the ladies will settle into a rhythm. And after they pass those little cones again right over there. They can all cut in, and you'll see them all cut into the first lane unless they're passing somebody. Then they'll swing out in the second lane.
Looks here, coming around here, Steve, early on, it looks like a Greenwood runner's in the lead. There's 4 tightly bunched. No, I'm sorry, that's a South Warren runner. Greenwood is right on the outside of her. Then it's another South Warren runner, and then another Greenwood runner. Mr. Clayton came by to say hi, the superintendent here at Warren County Public Schools, and he mentioned, as Steve, you mentioned a little bit ago, Warren East a busy night tonight. The parking lot was packed, and that's why they had a home baseball game, they had a home softball game, and of course this City Track and Field Invitational. Again, congratulations to head coach Wes Sanford, pitching coach Eugene Flippin, and the Warren East baseball players on winning the Class 2A state championship over the weekend. They won the championship game in Owensboro. So, Steve, it appears there were tightly packed 4 of them going into that final turn on lap 1, but it looks like 2 of the runners here have separated, a South Warren runner and a Greenwood runner.
Yep. Yeah, you've got 2 little pockets there, and then you've got quite a bit of space between them and the next ones, and that sometimes happens.
I don't know what she has left, but the Greenwood runner in second is in great.
2 laps to go.
Yep. She's in a great spot because she's getting to piggyback off the pace set by the South Warren competitor.
Get in a rhythm, and then, somewhere along lap 4, if she's going to make a move on the back stretch, my boys used to always, I could count on Will to come out from behind the goal post down between turn 3 and 4. If he was going to make a move at any point, it'd be behind that goal post.
Okay.
I never thought he'd have enough room, but, sometimes he did, sometimes he didn't. But that's where he tended to kick it in.
Again, want to thank the hospitality here at Warren East High School, Principal Jonathan Vincent, Athletic Director Brandon Combs, and the gentleman who is running this meet tonight, Assistant Athletic Director Patrick White. Gotten to know Patrick pretty well especially this school year. He does great work. He's a social studies teacher at Warren East High School. Like Steve mentioned, it's neat to see so many people in the stands that you cross paths with Warren County Public Schools. Steve, is it just me, or is the South Warren runner looking like she's starting to stretch the lead out a little bit?
She is a little bit. But again, it's these runners know each other.
Yes, they do.
They've run against each other for years, whether it's this or in cross country. They run against each other there, too.
A lot of them train together.
They do train together. In the summertime, the high schools are running, cross-country teams are running at the parks a lot of times at the same time or together. So, yeah, these kids know each other real well. This is not the first time they've competed. This is one of the later track meets of the season. But, yeah, right now I would say the South Warren runner is stretching it out just a couple of body lengths, and maybe if not a little bit more. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes that second-place runner just doesn't have the gas left in the tank, as they would say, to make a kick. If you've got the girls 4x2, I'd be interested to see how that ending ended. That girls race ended that was so close between Warren East and Greenwood.
South Warren won.
Or South Warren and Greenwood.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the middle school. I don't have the high school yet. I will.
Okay. That was the one Anna Drexel was coming back on, but that Warren East runner was holding her own. Again, hats off to both of them.
And it looks like the South Warren young lady is going to win this girls high school 1,600-meter run. We do have some more final results, Steve, that she's going to cross the finish line and win. The high school boys triple jump, this is a name to remember, a Bowling Green junior named John Hunter. He wins it. Malik Jefferson of Warren Central is second. And another young man we're very familiar with finished third in Isaiah Gee.
Yep.
So
multi-sport. He football, basketball, and track and field for Warren East.
And him and his twin brother Simon are going to go play college football at the same college. The boys triple jump middle school, Hunter Malazarte from South Warren is your winner. Ramon North from Moss Middle School is second. And Rashoon White.
Rashawn White.
Thank you. Is he a former Lost River Elementary?
Is.
Okay, thank you. Rashawn White.
Great,
thank you, Steve.
Great young man.
Really? Okay. He's an 8th grader now at Moss Middle School. Rashawn White is third. Does Ramon North, did he go to another elementary school?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not familiar with him.
Okay. So the middle school, boys by 4 by 200 meter relay. South Warren is your winner. The relay team of Xander Stanky, Alexander Holmes, Ethan Cardwell, and they don't have the name for the fourth one, so I'm sorry about that. Moss Middle School was second. Ramon North, Cole Doe, Chris Figueroa, and Rashawn White. Drakes Creek Middle School was third. Ryder Lambert, Darion Wells, Jordan Jones, and Treston Bailey Thomas. The girls' middle school 4 by 200 meter relay. South Warren is your winner. Their relay team consists of Jordan Brooks, Leighton Freeze, Autumn Gatewood, and it's spelled K-I-N-D-I. I'm going to guess it's Kendi Smith. Warren East Middle School second. Breelyn Wardlow, Rebecca Garms, Zawadi Amari, and Majoria Carter consist of their middle school relay team. And Steve, tell me if any of these four ring a bell. Moss Middle School, third. Their relay team of Catavia Green, Artilla McGinnis Boyd.
I had her in school, yep.
You did? Okay. Go ahead, Steve.
Go ahead. No, that's...
Jaya Thomas and Jayana Huffman.
No, Artilla, love her.
Okay.
I got to see her last year at track. She was coming to some of the events and running some events, and I got to catch up with her. And I need to correct myself. Cage Duncan will not win the boys' mile tonight.
He's not competing.
He's not competing. Okay. So, and that's fine. Again, it goes back to he is pacing his body to get ready for the regions, and sometimes that means you give your body a night off in one event or the other.
Right.
We haven't seen him yet. He may actually even take the night off, and a lot of runners do that. Of your top tier runners do that. They also don't want to risk being injured.
And sometimes, Steve, you know what a coach will do? He'll put a runner in a different event just as a mental change of pace, kind of keeping them fresh.
Well, these young runners, they need to get some meets and some experience under their belts too. So.
Yep. The women's middle school standings, the girls' middle school standings, after 4 events, Warren East is leading with 26. It's close. South Warren Middle School second with 23. Moss Middle School third with 16, and Drakes Creek Middle School with 15. On the boys' middle school side, after, let me see here. Here we go. After 5 events, Moss Middle School leads with 28. We have a tie for first. Drakes Creek Middle School also has 28. South Warren Middle School has 26, and Warren East Middle School has 13. High school update. Through 4 events, Warren East is leading with 32. Bowling Green is second with 18. Warren Central third with 15. South Warren fourth with 12. And Greenwood is fifth with 6 points. So that's where things stand right now as the boys
are off and running in the high school boys 1600 mile run.
It looks like, Steve, we have a pair of we have a Greenwood runner out in front. Well, I take that back. That's a Warren East competitor, followed by I believe that's Bowling Green. Warren East followed by Bowling Green, then a couple of Greenwood runners. And that Warren East runner right now, he's got a strong start on that opening lap.
Yep. I believe that's Michael House running for Bowling Green in second.
Okay. He won the event earlier tonight, didn't he?
He did.
Yep.
It was a relay.
Okay.
We've been in the 4x8.
Okay.
Coming up next is going to be, after this, is going to begin our 4x100 relays, which will be fast moving.
Okay.
And then just as a look ahead, after that, you're going to get into the girls and boys 400, which is 1 lap. We are moving along pretty well now. So, got the 100, again, the 4x100 meter relays and the 400 meter dash coming up.
Steve, our next live stream, I know you and I are looking forward to it. Thursday night, baseball at Greenwood between head coach Jason Jaggers and the Gators. They will host West Sanford and the Raiders of Warren East, 6 o'clock start. That's going to be a fun matchup, isn't it, Steve?
It is. I'm a little nervous. Weather forecast is not great. So
is there a chance of rain?
There's a chance of rain, so I'll be watching for my Mike Clef text.
Okay.
Or I know sometimes you always tease me that you wear me out. Sometimes I think I wear you out with a preemptive Mike Clef text. Or Mike, oh my gosh, look at the weather radar. But hopefully the weather will hold, and we can get that in because that will be a good game. And selfishly, it's close to my house, so I can be at home just a little bit longer, but that's okay. It's also a good facility to broadcast from. They have a nice big press box up there, and I get to actually stand in front of you there, but I also get to wear a headset. So,
that's right, which I love.
I know you love to get my witty humor and useless comments in on there. So,
Steve, the Warren East runner still has the lead, but it looks like Michael House is closing the gap.
Yeah. Now, from Michael on to the rest of the pack, seems like a decent little gap there, but we'll see what Michael has left in his tank as he comes into these last laps.
I'll tell you
it's
what,
like
Steve,
he's closing a little bit.
It does, yeah. It does. Now, the only key here is if the Warren East runner didn't have to use much energy for that third lap, but Michael House right now, Steve, looks like the stronger runner.
Yeah. Notice his body's a little more upright.
Yep.
Which tells you he's not, they tend to slump over a little bit when they're getting a little more tired.
Steve, do you have the filter all the way down?
I don't.
Let's do that.
That's going to make it too easy on you.
Thank you. There you go. Bingo. He's about to pass him, isn't he, Steve?
Yeah. He's going to pass him, but now it doesn't mean it's over because it looks like, the hard part about Warren East being out in front, you don't have anybody else to pace off of. You're looking at a blank track ahead of you.
Yep.
So looks like Michael's going to make his move there and put a few body lengths in between him, but we'll see what happens here coming down the stretch. Come back just a little bit and try to catch him since the last of our runners have passed the start-finish line.
That Warren East runner is coming right back, Steve.
I'm telling you, you can pass them. They could go back and forth 2 or 3 times here on the home stretch. Michael, I want to say he's got a little limp in him. Looks like he might have a little limp.
Wow, this Warren East runner, he conserved his energy that third lap, and he's finishing strong.
I hope that's not the case. I hope Michael's not hurt, but
he's coming back, though. This is a good finish, Steve, but Warren East is going to hold on. Good race. I enjoyed that. That was a good 2-man battle. Steve, I'll tell you what. We got some time here. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back with more of the City and County Track and Field Invitational for Warren East. You are watching the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network.
I think he's hurt.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom.
What's wrong with these? I think we're gonna need a bigger suitcase.
You what?
This is a Mingy moment.
We're broadcasting. So we get it when after they
Girls
get
like
it,
you
they
aren't
give it to
runners,
us. So
they said.
Well,
I wasn't.
If I think about it when I get it, if you haven't seen it, I'll let you know.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months down the
Hey,
drain.
did it look like Michael? Hey, Brent, did it look like Michael had a hiccup in his
get
step
up.
down here? Is he still down,
Yeah, we're gonna
or is
take
he
it
up
up.
now?
Who's not
Yeah,
a
he
runner
looked like
now?
he had a little, and I'm guessing that's
I am
probably why the
proof
guy
of the
came back
power
and
of
took him,
advanced
because I
medicine.
wouldn't have expected him to
Kids
lose that
deserve
lead
the
he
space
had.
to grow,
But it looked like he went
to play,
down
to
and stayed down for a
explore.
few
And
minutes.
if they
So
get sick or hurt,
I hope
they
he's
deserve
not.
a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible. With doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Health. Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives, it's saving lifetimes.
All right, we're back here at Warren East for the Bowling Green Warren County City County Championships, and we finished up on the boys varsity mile. We're coming up on the beginning of the 4x100s, and again, we'll start with middle school, and we have 4 teams out on the track. We've got kind of a little battle between the outdoor darkness and the inside daylight. I'm going to lean over here. It looks like we've got Warren East in lane 3. We've got Moss Middle School in lane 5, South Warren in lane 4, and Greenwood in lane 6. Hello. All right, we're back with the middle school girls. Again, they're getting their block set, and got to get the starter. She probably looks like she's having to put some new blanks in her gun to get them ready to start. Again, we've got the girls middle school 4x100, then we'll have the boys middle school 4x100, then we'll do the high school girls and boys 4x100. Just as a preview, we've got the girls and boys 400 coming up next. We've still got the girls doing the triple jump on the track. You'll see a little bit of that at the in the picture. All right, there we go. The start of the middle school girls 4x100. We'll see everybody clear those blocks off the first lane or two. They don't have to get them all, but the runners do at the very end come through. Here comes the first exchange. Again, we've got a little bit dark on the far side. Moss is easy to pick out with their white uniforms, but we've got Greenwood, South Warren, and Moss all up there in front with Warren East coming in fourth. It's the next exchange in turn 3. And they'll be coming all the way around here to the final exchange in turn 4. All right, we've got South Warren coming in first. We've got Warren East, then Moss and Greenwood coming to the line. And they finish in that order. All right, next up we will have the boys 4x100 coming out on the track. Middle school boys 4x100. Get those blocks reset. At this point, the official is going to work hard to keep the track meet moving along. We're getting down into the We're in the middle of the track meet right now, about to move into the lower part of the track meet. In order of events, again, coming up next is the girls and boys 400-meter dash. So we're on the middle school boys. Mike made a quick trip down to the concession stand, and he's back. So we'll get him up to speed. We just finished the girls' middle school 4x100, Mike. We're about to start the boys' middle school 4x100. They're taking the track right now.
And, Steve, as you might expect, when we arrived tonight, it was balmy and the conditions ideal. And as you might expect now, even though it's still okay out, it has definitely cooled down.
The last time we were in this press box, or you were in this press box, I was standing in front of you at the boys semi-state football, Warren East, and it was not balmy and warm that night at all. Just about as cold as I can remember being in a long time. So thankfully it will not get that cold tonight. So I'm thankful for that, but I'm also in the press box with you, so that makes it a little bit warmer. We've got, it looks like South Warren in lane 4. Moss in lane 4, South Warren in lane 3, and Warren East in lane 2, Greenwood in lane 1.
I was just listening to the public address announcer making, they get 3 calls.
Yes, first call, second call, final call. All right, looks like all the gentlemen have got their blocks the way they want them. She's putting them down. They'll, again, get their feet set, knees on the ground, one knee on the ground, both hands on the ground.
Steve, I have a question, and you can't see.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, that's right. I'll wait for until after this event's done.
All right, we're coming into the first exchange in turn 2. Moss out in front, South Warren in second, Warren East in third, and Greenwood in fourth. Again, Moss and South Warren battling there as we go into the third turn, which is where the second exchange is going to be. Moss with a very smooth, and South Warren both with very smooth handoff. Warren East in third, Greenwood in fourth. Here we come into the final exchange in this 4x100.
That's South Warren.
This is going to be a tight finish. South Warren runner got a great handoff there, and that gave them a boost. And here they come in. It's going to be close, but I believe South Warren's going to pull it on out with Warren East in third and Greenwood in fourth.
Good performance there by South Warren.
That's that Moss runner that won the 100 and also ran in the winning 4x200, I believe.
The South Warren middle school?
I mean the Moss runner.
Moss runner, okay.
Yeah, Moss middle runner.
Steve, we can't see it in camera view, but on the opposite side of the football field, I'm guessing that tent is the host tent for Warren East.
Probably,
okay.
Yeah. So we should, coming up, we're going to have the girls 4x100.
And, Steve, I want to mention someone that we both know well. And when I went to concession stand, Melanie Edison is here tonight.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. It's not a surprise.
No.
And, Steve.
Where Warren Central competes, there you will find Melanie.
And, Steve, when she drove back the boys basketball team from Lexington after winning the state championship, you know, I was over there, and boy, she was so excited. She got a lot of pictures with that championship trophy, and she deserved it.
All right, here come the first runners for the girls 400. Of course, only the first leg runners will come to the start-finish line. The second runner goes back to turn 2, the third runner goes to turn 3, and the anchor leg goes to turn 4. Well, the whole thing about moving quickly might have ground to a screeching halt here. We're trying to get the girls down. They're trying to get the girls down.
Steve, I'm still waiting to get the official results on that 4x200 girls relay. I'll let you know. Thank you very much. Mike Clef, Steve Sanders. How about that, Steve, for timing? Warren East ended up winning.
She pulled it out right there at the end. I mean, she hung in there.
Let me check the time on this, Steve, to see how close they were. Wow, listen to this. Warren East wins it. 1 minute, 47.19 seconds. Greenwood second, 1 minute, 47.24 seconds.
5/100ths of a second.
Yep.
Wow.
Warren East relay team, Cheyenne Stark, Tanaya Woods, McKenna Ryan, and the anchor who was battling Anna Drexel was Amaya Carter. For Greenwood, it was Caroline Freeman, Hannah Wiles, Myra Jones, and Anna Drexel. The boys 4x200 meter relay official results. Warren East wins it. Their relay team consists of Isaiah Gee, Romello Mead, Braden Lightfoot, and LaQuinton Flippin. South Warren was second. Their relay team made up of Carson Green, KJ Davison, Jonah Moore, Brandon Armstrong. We have some more final results. Thank you, sir. The girls' long jump, Yapembe Yagabo is your winner in the girls' long jump. Essence Reed of Bowling Green finishes second. Marie Manira Kaiza of Warren Central was third. Hannah Boddicker of Greenwood was fourth. The girls' high school standings after 6 events. Greenwood leads with 45 points. Warren East is second with 29. South Warren is third with 22. Warren Central fourth with 14. Bowling Green fifth with 12. Thank you very much. We'll have some more results here. I see Steve.
Girls are going into blocks for their 4x100. Girls high school.
We'll get you the boys' standings here right after this event, Steve.
The guns up by the starter. And there we go. Here's the first exchange.
I'll be honest with you, Steve. I cannot see.
I can't discern the different uniforms. I can tell you South Warren's running in third because I can see the white stripe down the back.
Okay. Let's see, Steve.
Looks like Warren East in first.
Oh, and they're winning easily. Wow.
And second. Looks like they're running 2 teams.
That's South Warren in
third. And then
third.
South Warren in third.
All right, so Warren East wins that event. The girls' long jump middle school final results. Alyssa Jones of Drakes Creek is your winner. Leighton Freeze of South Warren, second. Angie Rivera of Warren East, third. And Riata Jones was for Warren East was fourth. Your up-to-date girls' middle school standings. Warren East leads with 32. South Warren Middle School with 30. They're in second. Drakes Creek Middle School in third with 23. And Moss Middle School is fourth with 16. Again,
all right, we'll get the boys set for their 4x100. This will be a fast one.
And, Steve, whenever you need to take a break, feel free.
I'm going to watch the gentleman run here, and then I'm going to jump out for just a second and give you the girls and boys 400.
Okay. You talk about another grueling event, Steve. We were talking about the 300 hurdles. That 400-meter dash is grueling also.
It's a sprint 4 times longer than they want it to be.
Yeah.
All right, looks like we've got South Warren in lane 2, Greenwood in lane 3, Warren East in lane 4, and Bowling Green in lane, I would say 5, but I think they actually skipped a lane in there. And so Bowling Green's in lane 6.
Okay.
So again, South in lane 2, Greenwood in lane 3, Warren East in lane 4, and Bowling Green in lane 6. Could have been Warren Central in lane 5, and they may have scratched their team for this event. So the runners are getting the block set just the way they want. Most of these runners have done this enough. They know exactly where they're going to put their blocks, and they just got to get them moved around a little bit.
It looks like a couple of the runners came out of the blocks. They're still warming up a little bit.
Bowling Green runner switched his block. Sometimes they can't quite get it adjusted they want. They get a new one.
You're right, though, Steve. This meet official, the starter, she's a really good one.
You got to figure she's going all over the place. She's at every start and every finish.
Yep. Mike Clef, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. We've been on for a little over 2.5 hours with the City-County Track and Field Invitational.
All right, we've got the guys in the blocks.
Okay.
Guns up. And again, this is the boys varsity 4x100. This will be a fast race. And they're off and running. Got Bowling Green in first. Warren East in second, Greenwood in third, South Warren. The South Warren runner is trying to make a move. The Warren East runner is taking over first, coming into the third exchange.
Their exchanges for South Warren have been very good.
That was very good exchange, and you can see the difference in the gap that was opened up there all of a sudden.
I stand corrected, Steve. That's Warren East.
Is that Warren East?
Yeah, their exchanges have been very good.
All right, there's the Warren East runner there, finishing it out. He's going to take the flag. It's going to be a great race for second between Bowling Green and South Warren.
I remember that Warren East. He's got the pink or reddish dyed hair, and he's won earlier tonight.
All right, with the conclusion of that, it'll be next up is probably be the girls middle school 400. And I'm going to jump out for just a second and give it back to you, Mike.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Steve will be back in just a moment here. Been a very entertaining evening. We've really enjoyed it. And, again, the 4x100-meter event just concluded. And we're about to go to the 400-meter dash. And with that, we will take a quick break. You are watching and listening to the City County Track and Field Invitational on the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives. It's saving lifetimes.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom.
wrong with these? I think we're gonna need a bigger suitcase.
This is a Mingy moment.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or
Perfect.
get up.
Looks good. Good, we're gonna take it up.
Who's not a runner now? I am proof of the power of advanced medicine.
Welcome back to Warren East High School at the City County Track and Field Invitational. Mike Clef, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network, courtesy of Prep Spin. Again, many thanks to Prep Spin CEO and co-owner William Warfield for all of his hard work and support. Have a couple of more final results for you. The girls' middle school 1,600-meter run. The event was won by Caitlin Best of South Warren Middle School. Geraldine Baldwin of South Warren, a fifth grader, finished second, and Lily Walden of Warren East was third. The current standings on the girls' middle school event competition: South Warren Middle School is in first with 44, Warren East Middle School in second with 38, Drakes Creek Middle School in third with 24, and Moss Middle School in fourth with 16. On the boys' 1,600-meter run event in the middle school division, your winner, Calixto Alvarez of South Warren. Camden Goodrich of Drakes Creek Middle School was second, and Alex White of South Warren was third. Fourth place, Jorge Vega Castro of Drakes Creek. Your up-to-date middle school standings on the boys' side: South Warren Middle School leading with 38, Drakes Creek Middle School in second with 36, Moss Middle School in third with 28, and Warren East Middle School in fourth with 14, and that'll get you up to speed there. So anyway, we're just about a little bit away from starting the 400-meter dash, which is one lap around the track. Our next live stream will be Thursday night. It will be baseball at Greenwood between the Gators and the Raiders of Warren East. That'll be a 6 o'clock start in the evening. And then on Friday night, we will be at South Warren for the Sky Conference track and field meet, which gets underway at 5:30 in the evening. And we are underway in the 400-meter dash. This is the girls' middle school division. And again, on the opposite side of the track, it's kind of hard to tell who's who there right now. It looks like a Greenwood competitor is moving up on the inside lane. And the Greenwood competitor has taken the lead. But coming back is the South Warren student athlete, and she's 2 lanes over. It's Greenwood and South Warren in this event. And right now, it looks like South Warren has taken the lead. It's close, but it looks like South Warren is going to win this event. So South Warren is your winner in this 400-meter dash. So thank you. So the boys' middle school 400-meter dash will be next. We'll run down our live stream schedule for you next week. We have 3 weeks left total. Next week on Monday, and this is subject to change, we are going to be at I believe we're going to be at softball, which would be Logan County at South Warren. That will be at 5:30 p.m. We'll have to double check that for you. Tuesday, May 2nd, we'll have softball Greenwood at South Warren. And then a week from Friday on May 5th, we'll have the Raider Classic track and field meet right back here at Warren East at 5:30 in the evening. Of course, this is subject to change. Mike Leff, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network, courtesy of PrepSpin. Your options for checking out our live stream, you can go to prepspin.com or go.prepspin.com. You can go to the Facebook and Twitter pages, respectively, for PrepSpin. PrepSpin's also on Roku and Fire Stick TV. Just search and find it there. You can also go to our school district's website, warrencountyschools.org, or you can go to our collaborator, WBKO Television, their website, which is wbko.com. Go to the sports page and click on the PrepSpin link there. This is our third year of live streaming. It's been a blast. Again, the big thing is it's free, and also you can go back and look at it on archives. So I believe we are just close to starting the boys middle school 400-meter dash. Before tonight's meet, they honored the seniors from all 5 high schools taking part in this meet, which, of course, includes the 4 high schools in Warren County Public Schools: Greenwood, South Warren, Warren Central, and Warren East, and Bowling Green High School in the Bowling Green Independent School District. So it was a nice ceremony before tonight's contest, and one of those that was honored was Sam Sanders, the son of my live streaming broadcast colleague Steve Sanders. Unfortunately, Sam has not been able to compete because of a toe injury that he suffered, and that's a bummer certainly for Sam and his family, but he's been a wonderful representative of this track and field program with Greenwood High School. So anyway, we are about ready to start the boys middle school 400-meter dash. The weather has cooled, but I think it's a nice night out here. The wind is minimal. And all the competitors are having a wonderful time. Great sport this is, track and field. I want to thank our leadership with Warren County Public Schools. Superintendent Rob Clayton, he was here tonight. Stopped by the press box. He also went over to check out the Warren East baseball game and the Warren East softball game. Also, Chief Operations Officer Jason Cupcella and Chief Financial Officer Chris McIntyre. And it looks like competitors are getting into their starting blocks, and the boys middle school 400-meter dash should start here very soon. And they're off. And I believe that is a competitor from South Warren that is out to a great start. We'll get a better idea as he makes the stretch run. He is definitely free and clear here, the opening 220 meters of this 400-meter dash. And he is running away with this. Is a Greenwood competitor. I stand corrected, Greenwood. And that would be Drakes Creek Middle School. And that young man is going to win easily. He's getting tired, but he still should win this pretty easily as he crosses the finish line first. Warren Central finished second. Moss Middle School, actually, I stand corrected. Again, 2 of our high schools have the same name as the middle schools have the same name as the high school. That's South Warren Middle School and Warren East Middle School, and the other 2 have different names. The middle school that feeds into Greenwood High School is Drakes Creek Middle School, And the middle school that feeds into Warren Central High School is Moss Middle School. Some more final results. The girls' 1,600-meter run. Winning the event, Riley Johnson of South Warren. Finishing second, Kylie Sutton of Greenwood. Third place was Claire Ellington of Greenwood. And fourth was Megan Kitchens of South Warren. The up-to-date girls' high school standings, Greenwood leading with 55. South Warren in second with 32. Warren East in third with 29. Warren Central in fourth with 14. And Bowling Green fifth with 13 points. The boys' 1,600-meter run, Jacob Dockery, this was a good race. Michael House of Bowling Green passed Jacob Dockery, who had a big lead, and then Dockery repassed him in the stretch. Jacob Dockery, he's a sophomore for the Raiders. He wins it. Michael House of Bowling Green was second. Andrew Champion of Greenwood was third, and Drake Weaver of Greenwood finished fourth. Your boys' high school standings, up to date. Warren East is leading with 49. Greenwood is second with 28. South Warren in third with 18. Warren Central in fourth with 15. And Greenwood is fifth with 12 points. So those are your up-to-date standings and final results. And again, thank you to the hospitality here at Warren East High School, led by Principal Jonathan Vincent. Jonathan used to be the athletic director here at Warren East. Brandon Combs, the current athletic director, who replaced Jonathan Vincent. Brandon used to be the boys basketball coach here. And the gentleman who's running tonight's meet, the assistant athletic director, Patrick White. So all three of them do wonderful work, and we certainly enjoy interacting with them a great bit. Steve Sanders, thank you so much. Again, Warren East has been great tonight getting us results. And it looks like they're warming up here a little bit. This would be the girls' high school. I believe the girls' high school is kind of hard to see right now. I'll take a look over there. Nope, this is, looks like the boys' high school event. 400-meter dash. And again, I apologize. Where I'm positioned right now, I cannot see with my own eyes the area where the competitors are about to start. Now I'm looking at our computer screen, but I just cannot tell. This looks like the boys' high school event. And we should be ready to go here in just a couple of moments. I want to thank our sponsors again, Med Center Health, UK Healthcare, and Minky Beef Jerky. I hear some kind of announcement through a megaphone, but I can't quite understand what it's about. This might be the, I stand corrected, this is the second heat of, might be the boys' middle school 400-meter dash. That'll be followed by the girls' high school 400-meter dash, and then the high school boys division will follow after that. So we should be ready to go with this boys middle school heat of the 400-meter dash any moment now. And I stand corrected. This is the girls' high school division. I believe this is. And we should be ready to go here in just a moment. I think I've said that 4 times now. I apologize. Here we go. And the leading contenders in this 400-meter dash are about to hit the halfway point. And 3 of the runners have really separated for the others. And out there is a competitor from, looks like Greenwood. Right now in the lead is one of her teammates with Greenwood. And it's those two, and it looks like a Greenwood runner is going to win this. It's going to go, it looks like Greenwood 1-2 here. We have someone closing very quickly there on the inside, but Greenwood holds on for second. And that's the running of the girls' 400-meter dash. Steve Sanders has been taking a very well-deserved break. He still has the headsets off, and we're in no hurry. He gets to enjoy the break here, as we'll now run the boys' high school 400-meter dash. So Greenwood goes 1-2 there. Good meet so far. And before we get the running of this boys 400-meter dash, we will take another timeout. You are watching the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or
Perfect.
get up.
Looks good. Good, we're gonna take it up.
Who's not a runner now? I am proof of the power of advanced medicine.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives, it's saving lifetimes.
I can't.
Have some mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom.
wrong with these? I think we're gonna need a bigger suitcase.
This is a Mingy moment.
Welcome back to Warren East High School. Steve, glad to have you back
Hey,
there.
I could have taken 20, and we're still on the 400. Here we go.
Yep.
They're off and running.
Steve, I'm going to be honest. This is a beautiful facility, but on the backstretch, I can't tell who's who.
Yeah, it's a little dark down on the at track level. Now, the far side of the football field itself is nice and bright, but once you know the way those lights are aimed, once you get off that football field, it gets dark quick, and that's the way it is at South Warren when we do the Sky Conference on Friday. You'll find that the track part itself gets a little bit darker as you look across it. Here we go. Greenwood in front. Warren East closing fast on him.
Yep.
He's give out.
Yep. I wonder
if he thought that first line of triangles was the finish line.
Yeah. And, Steve, it looked like that Warren East competitor, that might have been the young man who won the 1,600-meter run.
That was a little confusing. That Greenwood runner looked like maybe he...
Did he get hurt?
No. I mean, the way he looked, it looked like a normal finish after, a long sprint.
Steve,
Warren East runner coming and patting him on the back.
Steve, it looks like
that row of that line of triangles.
Yeah,
he might have thought that was the finish line. If that's the case, I hate it for him. That's I won't lie. After a full lap around there, I'll probably be seeing that too, or hoping that especially.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to have believe it or not, Mike, we're going to have a little break here as we get the hurdles out for the 300 hurdles.
We'll take a break, too. Steve and I will be right back. You're watching the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network.
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom.
What's wrong with these? I think we're gonna need a bigger suitcase.
This is a Mingy moment.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives. It's saving lifetimes.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going. Perfect.
or get up.
Looks good. Good, we're gonna take it up.
Who's not a runner now? I am proof of the power of advanced medicine.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Welcome back to the City County Track and Field Invitational at Warren East High School. Mike Clef, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. They're putting their hurdles on for the 300-meter hurdles event, so it's taken a few minutes to get them on. While they're doing that, we're going to take another break. You're watching the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives, it's saving lifetimes.
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom.
What's wrong with these? I think we're gonna need a bigger suitcase.
This is a Mingy moment.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or
Perfect.
get up.
Looks good. Good, we're gonna take it up.
Who's not a runner now? I am proof of the power of advanced medicine.
Welcome back to Warren East High School. Mike Clef, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. It is the City County Track and Field Invitational, and it looks like they have the hurdles on.
Yeah, we got some runners over there. I can't really tell you, Mike. It's girls. I believe. I mean, if the pattern fits, it's going to be middle school girls.
And they did announce, Steve, they're going to have the boys and girls middle school competitors in the same heat.
Okay. Well, it is the same distance, and it is the same height in middle school. It wouldn't be the same height in high school, but in middle school it is the same height.
And I want to emphasize again, Steve, before slow, this is a beautiful facility. It's well run. It's well taken care of. The lighting on the football field is great. But on the opposite side, it is just hard to see.
If you look at the backdrop of that shot right there, there's just not much light in it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, let's be honest, the lights are focused on the field, which you would expect.
Absolutely.
It's not a track facility. It's a football field that has a track around it.
Right.
And so there we go. And they're off and running.
Steve, if you can tell who's in the lead, feel free to go ahead and
I
let
can
me
tell
know.
you there's 3 hurdlers. That's what I can tell you.
Okay.
And I want to say 2 of them are from South Warren and 1 of them from Warren East.
Okay.
Maybe. Maybe not. The reason I say South is that white stripe down the side.
Okay.
Regardless of who it is, I tip my cap to them because this is the single most challenging event from endurance and muscular strength.
Is that Greenwood, Steve?
It is. In third, that's Greenwood. Actually, him first is Greenwood. Man, just Mike, I might as well just sign off right here, buddy. Greenwood in first, South Warren in second, and Greenwood in third.
Yep.
I just completely missed that.
Oh, Steve, it's hard to see, and the jerseys from a distance are all dark.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell.
Greenwood used to run in bright yellow jerseys. And man, those were the
really?
days. You could
Okay.
pick them out anywhere.
Yep.
Except for Central Hardin, they run in bright yellow jerseys.
Well, Greenwood, when they get closer, you can see the green in their jersey but from a distance, they're all darker shades. And
I think somebody lied to you, Mike, because there's the boys' middle school back there.
You know what? They must have, but they did say they were going to. They must have changed their mind then. So you're right. This is going to be the boys' middle school,
and that's
event.
fine. I
Yep.
mean, you do sometimes run events with girls and boys together, but sometimes it's just best to run them. You don't want to have your race so packed that you can't. Obviously, what could have happened here is if you have 9 runners, you only have 8 lanes. So if you're going to have an extra runner, you might as well just split them up because you're still going to have to run 2 heats of it, a girls' heat and a boys' heat. So we'll see if there's more than 5 runners here. If that's the case, then that's what it was. Now, I want to say I just see 5, but I could just be wrong on everything, Mike. Let's just be real. I'm wrong on everything.
Steve, if that's the case, then that makes
my ratings are probably just going down, down, down. My only fan on this is probably Mr. Cupcella. I mean, he's probably the only person that would give me a positive review right now.
Oh, man. Steve, the other thing I thought was the starter. You said she has to reload the starter's pistol. I'm assuming she carries the reload things in her,
she does.
in her coat.
But sometimes she runs out of those, too.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, she's got them set.
Okay.
See what they do here.
Okay, Steve, it looks like there's a South.
Look, I ain't even calling it, Mike. You go for it.
It looks like there's a South Warren Middle School.
Greenwood in second, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's closing, too.
Yep. This is a Greenwood competitor running well, passing the South Warren competitor. And Steve, that Greenwood competitor is just how he clears the hurdles.
It's so important, the timing and the steps in between. You don't want to have to stutter step. You don't want to have to pigeon step. You want to hit that hurdling stride. But, man, that is.
South Warren's gaining on him, Steve.
Uh-oh.
And he hit. Yep.
Oh.
I hope he's okay. Oh, he's still down. I hope that young man's
well,
okay.
part of that's the fall and part of it's exhaustion.
Yes. And you could see the South Warren competitor was passing him there at the very end. I hope that young man is okay. He gave everything he had. And, Steve, you're right. I think that was more exhaustion than. Yeah. Steve, I didn't realize how close the last set of hurdles are
to the finish line. Yeah.
How far do you think that is? 15 yards? 10 yards?
I'd say 10 yards.
That's close. Yeah.
I'm just looking at the football field for a relative comparison. I say 10 yards.
He's still down, and again, I hope that young man's okay. And, he's getting up. That's a great sign. That's a great sign. He's on his feet. We talked about it earlier, Steve. You see someone fall over those hurdles, you just cringe. Oh.
Third final call for our high school boys, 300-meter hurdles. Third final call.
And, of course, they have to wait to start the girls' high school 300-meter hurdles until
they can clear it.
It looks like they still are looking at him. He's still standing around on the finish line, isn't he, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure one of the trainers is down there.
Yep.
That's a great thing about having 5 high schools. You've always got a trainer here.
That young man, by the way, was wearing the Greenwood, but he's with Drakes Creek Middle School. And I think you brought up a great point about the trainers.
We've got great trainers at the high schools.
Oh, they're tremendous, aren't they? They are tremendous. Yeah.
Take good care. I mean, I know from having a student athlete, they're there. I mean, those guys and gals are working all the time. My son's gone and found the trainer.
Yep.
In the gym, on the football practice field. They're all over the place, and they take good care of the kids. They refer the kids to the right direction. You know how hard it is to get into a doctor, Mike. They're so busy,
Sure. Yep.
and I don't mean that in a bad way. They're just busy all the time. And Mike Judd, the trainer at Greenwood, who is excellent.
Yes, he
when
is.
Sam got hurt, Mike gave us the right phone number and gave us the right doctor's name and said call and let them know that Mike was having you call, and you know what, we got in the next day, because those doctors also know these trainers, and they know if that trainer's sending that kid, then it's something that they need to see. So these trainers are great. They do a ton of work. They take, even though Mike Judge or whom Mike Carby at Warren Central is a great trainer, they take care of any kid, no matter who they're from. They just have that passion for taking care of these athletes.
Okay, this is the girls' high school 300-meter hurdles. And, again, Steve, we'll get a better look at who's who here coming around. That looks like Warren East is in the lead at the moment.
I got nothing because I sat down for a minute, Mike.
Okay. She's in lane 4.
It is Warren East. Okay. I will confirm that.
Okay.
And South Warren next.
And it looks like South Warren is closing the gap.
Yep.
This is a good race. South Warren's closing the gap. This is a real good race. And
South Warren pulled it out.
Warren East runner clipped the hurdle.
Clipped that hurdle.
Yeah.
But again, looking at that picture there with that hurdle, that's another example of why those hurdles are weighted. Because if that hurdle doesn't give, then that means that girl's body's got to give, and that's going face down. So, thankfully, for whoever designed those hurdles. All right, well, that gets us to the varsity boys. They're out getting on the track. It gets us to some more of our multi-sport athletes. I know Drew Smothers, this has beat him, soccer, football, and track for Greenwood. Had a chance to talk to his mom and Leslie and his dad Jim sitting down in front of us. We've known them for a while. And
good people, aren't they?
Yes.
They're good people. Leslie's been at Briarwood for quite a while, hasn't she?
She has.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's very involved with the soccer program.
I invited her to come up here, and we'd make her the face of Briarwood Elementary, but she declined. She's just shy like that.
Yeah. And the thing with Leslie, Steve, every time I run into her, she's got a smile. She's pleasant, And I realize at Briarwood she has to, deal with some tough situations at times, but she's always very pleasant when I see her on the soccer field at Drakes Creek, where Greenwood plays their home soccer matches, or whether it's the football field at Greenwood.
Third and final call for our middle school boys and girls 800-meter run. Third and final call, middle school boys and girls 800-meter run.
And,
second call for our
well, Steve, I thought we were.
High school girls 800-meter run. First call, high school boys 800-meter run.
Yep, looks like we're trying to get going over there, Mike, but
Is everything cleared out?
Oh,
by
yeah,
the finish
yeah,
line?
it's all clear
Okay.
on the finish
Yep.
line. Somebody built a fire making s'mores somewhere, I think. I don't know. I hope so. We evidently got a little break here. We could go find that.
Steve, who's the real good runner for Greenwood that you said didn't compete tonight?
Kate's Duncan.
Kate's Duncan. Okay.
He might compete in the Open 8, which is next.
Just your opinion. Do you agree with, sitting runners out or competitors out to save them for a bigger meet, or do you just like them when they get a chance to compete to put them in a meet and compete?
I don't. I'm not the one to ask, but I would trust a coach if a coach made the decision along with the. I mean, he's an 18-year-old athlete. He knows his body. He knows, that they're going to make the right decision. I will say it's not uncommon at all for runners to sit out races. That's not uncommon, and so I don't know that I would make a blanket statement that you should run every time the starter's gun shoots.
And you never know. I mean, he might be battling a minor.
Could not feel well today.
Right, could not feel well. Yeah.
He could have run, or I don't. Since Sam's not running actively, I don't know when the meets are. He may be running a different meet this week. They may have more than one. We know they have another one on Friday. I don't want to. I better not weigh in there because I don't have a well enough informed opinion and enough experience to know. There were times my kids didn't run.
Yeah.
And
looks like the Greenwood competitors out to a good start, Steve.
That's Drew Smothers.
Okay. Drew is
wow.
Drew's
He's looking good. He didn't have a great 110 hurdles. I've always known him as the 300 more than the 110.
Yep.
And this is why. He's got a nice, smooth, good finish. Yep. There you go.
That was
Drew Smothers. Strong showing.
Strong effort, yeah. No, and Steve, let me go back. I mean, again, more than anything in this sport, your body has to recharge. And so I say this respectfully about this meet. This meet is not the end game for these competitors. No. And
it has no impact on regions unless he hadn't had an opportunity to run very much. But listen, he runs all the time. He's a running machine. So listen, I don't even, it's probably not even good to speculate. It could be any number of reasons, but he's a smart runner. Good coaching staff. I have no idea, but I feel confident that, my only thing is just the disappointment in not getting to see him run it.
Sure.
I mean, a young man running a 4:15, I want to see. And that's just the selfish part of me. I want to see him run as well as he does. But
I'm with you.
But again, if he's my kid, also, that's not what I want. I want him to do what's best for his body and the long-term results of this year. So there you go. There's a good non-answer for that, right?
Well, Steve, I'll tell you what. Before we get going with the 800-meter dash, or 800-meter run, I should say, we're going to take another quick break. You're watching the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network, courtesy of PrepSpin. Steve and I will be right back.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up?
Keep the rhythm going. Perfect.
Or get up.
Looks good. Good, we're going to take it up.
Who's not a runner now? I am proof of the power of advanced medicine.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives. It's saving lifetimes.
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom.
What's wrong with these? I think we're gonna need a bigger suitcase.
This is a Mingy moment.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Oh, that's cool. All right, welcome back to Warren East High School. Mike Cleff, Steve Sanders with the City County Track and Field Invitational. We our most recently completed event is the 300-meter hurdles. Our next event coming up is the 800-meter run. Steve, does it seem like we have been on nearly 3.5 hours?
We are. And by track time, there's probably another hour to go in this meet.
Yep.
It's going to be a late night. I think you and I are going to get preempted by time constraints in a few minutes, but we'll hold on as long as we can. But
our schedule right now is we'll be on with you for about another 6 minutes.
Yep.
And make it 5, which would carry us to 9 o'clock. Now, Steve, do you think, well, it looks like, I can't tell, there's...
You're about to ask me a question that's got a theoretical answer and a real answer. Theoretically, we should be able to get through this event.
Okay.
Realistically, at the pace we're moving, I'm not sure we're going to make it through this heat right here. But they are lined up, guns up.
Okay.
There we go. We should have about 2.5 minutes in this race.
And this is the middle school event?
Middle school combined 800, girls and boys. 2 laps. Should be 2 to 2.5 minutes.
Steve, let me ask you a question. You went back, and I'm going to get this wrong. Did you say all? What kind of meet is it? All
comers.
Yeah. What is an all comers meet again, Steve?
All right. So an all comers meet means that these teams can basically enter as many people as they want. Now I'm not positive about this one because I've been to all comers where a particular school would have 3 heats of the 100 meters that was just all their runners. So this may be more like an invitational.
Okay.
An invitational is where each school can enter 2 individuals or 2 teams if it's a relay in each event. So, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in all these events we've seen no more than 2 teams from an individual school and 2 runners. So this is treated more like a invitational than a all-comers. I literally have seen an all-comers, and I won't name the school because I like them all, but where a school would have 2 or 3 heats of the 100-meter dash that was all filled with their runners.
So to be on the safe side, Steve, to say the least, an all-comers meet lasts much longer.
It is. They tend to be just local, so that by nature limits them. They're done just by the 4 Warren County schools plus Bowling Green.
Okay.
Typically they're early in the year because you're just wanting to get kids repetitions, reps in starting, running, and finishing. So.
Well, Steve, it looks like this young man from South Warren Middle School is having a strong performance.
Yep.
And he's led wire to wire, and he's not going to be caught.
No, he's still got the same stride he started with, doesn't he?
Yep. Warren East with a good effort there in second, but the South Warren middle school runner, is just too far out in front. As they're going to finish up here for a bit. Again, as Steve mentioned, the middle school 800-meter run, they are combining the boys and the girls.
Be interesting to see if they combine the boys. I don't think they will, but they might.
Okay.
Doesn't look like they are because we only have girls.
Yep.
They have cones usually down there to represent the lanes.
Yep.
They'll try to get the runners to line up for the next race behind their cone so they can come straight on the track.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Steve, we got the finishers here, so we've got some more results. The middle school boys shot put, Sammy Ismail from Drakes Creek is your winner. Mason Jones from Drakes Creek was second, and Levi Garrett from South Warren was third. Chayton Lively of Warren East was fourth. The boys shot put in the high school division. Steve, a very familiar name.
Jatavian Barber.
You got it.
Yep,
he wins it.
If I'm not mistaken, they said he now holds the indoor state record.
Yeah. He's and of course he was a major contributor, not just on the football team, but the boys basketball team.
I love watching him on the basketball team.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite players.
I'm with you on that. Braden Ryder of Greenwood was second, and another familiar name finished third, Simon Gee of Warren East, and Imran Karamov from Greenwood was fourth.
I don't know Imran, but I know those first three. I know Braden Ryder plays football for Greenwood. He's a multi-sport athlete. So,
Okay.
there again, we go back to these kids are playing more than one sport.
Yep.
So,
the girls' discus middle school results. Kalina Murray of Warren East first. Rose Curry of Drakes Creek finished second. And Guimel Warjes Hernandez of South Warren was third. Updated standings, girls middle school. South Warren Middle School leads with 65 points. Warren East Middle School second with 55. Drakes Creek Middle School third with 44. Moss Middle School fourth with 20 points. Boys Middle School standings. Are they about ready to start the 800-meter
yeah.
run? Okay.
Well, they're still got a red flag, but I think they're about ready. Go ahead, though.
Boys Middle School standings up to date. Drakes Creek Middle School in first with 52. South Warren Middle School in second with 51. It's close. Moss Middle School third, 34. Warren East Middle School fourth with 20. Your boys high school standings, Warren East in first with 69. Bowling Green in second with 33. South Warren in third with 24. Greenwood in fourth with 22. And Warren Central in fifth with 15. That'll get you up to date. Again, want to thank everyone in the press box with Warren East. There are some of the high school student athletes that have been bringing results over to us, and we appreciate that very much. I think Connor Doyle, remember him from the basketball season, Steve? He brought those over. And
we have a start. Okay. Probably in all likelihood, Mike, will be our last race of the night. We're at the 9 o'clock mark, but maybe we can hold on just long enough to see these.
Okay. Yeah, we'll plan to do here, Steve. We'll thank you again. Appreciate it. Steve, I got time to get some more final results here during the 800-meter run. The girls' discus high school division. Your winner, Nyla Nawanguma of South Warren. Kennedy Corradini of South Warren was second. Janetta Shobe of Warren Central was third. And Pauline Tirani Ibagira was fourth. And I'm sorry if I botched that name. Your standings in the high school division for the girls up to date. South Warren in first with 66. Greenwood second with 59, so it's close. Warren East in third with 41. Warren Central fourth with 20. And Bowling Green fifth with 13. So appreciate that very much. Steve, it looks like they're on the back stretch here of the second.
Yeah, go into their second lap.
Yep. And let's see, it looks like someone's taking a lead.
South Warren take the lead past the Greenwood runner.
Okay. Well, Steve, this Greenwood runner, I think, is going to repass her.
Yep. We'll come up the home stretch here. We'll see who's got anything left.
This is a good race. Here comes the Greenwood runner. Yep, there she goes.
She's going to pull away.
Yep. Nicely done.
Yep. All right. Well, Mike, time constraints, unfortunately, for our millions and millions of viewers across the world. Time constraints are going to have to force us to cut out here, but congratulations to all these young men and women for a great night, and we look forward to probably see a lot of these folks on Friday at South Warren.
Yep.
And look forward to that. And in between, we'll be at Greenwood Thursday night for a great matchup baseball between Warren East and Greenwood. And again, we'd like to thank everyone here for their hospitality at Warren East. Great job. And with that, we hope everybody has a good night. And we look forward to you tuning in to join us again, either with baseball on Thursday or track and field on Friday. Everybody have a good night.